DC head coaching opening. Jaguars coach Urban Meyer said today there's no chance he'd leave for that job. He's committed to trying to build an organization in Jacksonville. Former Packers tight end Jermichael Finley didn't hold back when discussing Green Bay's debacle in the season opener, or Aaron Rodgers said he didn't see the preparation from Green Bay in Week 1, and the future Hall of Fame quarterback is missing a critical part of his game this year, according to Finley.
I just don't see a work ethic in Aaron Rodgers that I have in previous years. And actually, you can see it right through his helmet. The eyes and the face tells everything of the personality. And I just don't see it, that NFL hunger and just feel hungry to go win another championship.
Michael Finley on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Giants running back Saquon Barkley listed as questionable against Washington tomorrow. He's trying to play a second game in 4 days, coming off a major knee injury. Browns receiver Odell Beckham Jr. has been officially ruled out for Sunday's matchup against the Texans.
Want to look like $1 million? Upgrade to a Dollar Shave Club 6-blade razor for a noticeably smooth shave thanks to their 6 precision-cut stainless steel blades. Find your perfect shave with Dollar Shave Club stores. Yep, that's Dollar Shave Club in store. So go to the store and find them.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
You so. And Mr. Toby Tom play. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. Oh, by the way, it's a hump day.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
John Emery, ineligible.
Hump day.
But they're trying to get him eligible.
It's hump day.
The attorney who's trying to get him eligible.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Is Don Jackson.
Hump day.
He'll join us
It's hump day.
in 12 minutes.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Urban Dictionary later this hour.
Hump day.
Russ Mitchell in hour 3.
It's hump day.
Saints injury report later today.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Oh, we got a ton to do. Ton to do. All right, let's kick it. Glad you're hanging aboard with us here. We always appreciate our friends over at Pluckers, title sponsor for Hump Day shows. Ed Ogeron on Wednesday, of course, takes his turn on the SEC Coaches Teleconference. Of note, he updated the injury status of a couple of players. Let's start with Ali Gaye, who did not play this last week against McNeese.
He is unavailable. He was unavailable last week. He's going to be unavailable this week. But what I've seen from him in his camp is him continue to grow, and I think he's going to be an outstanding end for us.
So no Ali Gaye for the second consecutive week. Jay Ward, who was injured against UCLA, also did not play against McNeese. What is his status for Central Michigan?
I just talked to Bo. No, I don't think so, Wilson. Hopefully we have him by next week. But it's day by day right now. He's very doubtful for this week. Probably Mississippi State, and I'm not sure of that yet.
Okay, so here's hoping Jay Ward's back next week for the SEC opener against Mississippi State, but doubtful as of right now. Looks like Ali Gaye and Jay Ward out against Central Michigan this week. And you know what? I'm okay with it. Despite all of our anxiety about the defense, and I don't think, please don't misunderstand me, I don't think they cured their ills against McNeese. we said all leading up to the McNeese game, you would have one of two feelings. You would either have a sort of satisfied feeling that it went the way it should go against an FCS opponent, or you would feel worse if something didn't go well. I think it's fair to say the defense, you're sort of satisfied. The defense did what it's supposed to do. And offensively, you probably felt a little worse after watching the performance, particularly by the offensive line. But we also saw the LSU defensive line sack Cody Orgeron 8 times. Even though Ali Gaye isn't going to go for LSU, they have a plethora of pass rushers. And y'all, Central Michigan's offensive line is bad. Central Michigan opened the season in Columbia, Missouri against Mizzou. How about this stat line? Mizzou defensively had 9 sacks, 9 times. Shout out Ferris Bueller. 14 tackles for loss, 3 quarterback hurries, and 6 passes defended and a partridge in a pear tree. The Missouri defensive line absolutely annihilated the Central Michigan offensive line. LSU with Andre Anthony, B.J. Ojolari, Mason Smith, Jaquaylin Roy, that whole lot of guys, they're going to be fine this weekend. I really don't worry about the defensive line's ability to generate pressure because Missouri did it, LSU will be able to do it. Jay Ward is a little bit more concerning. Ed Orgeron today did talk about the play of the safeties in Jay Ward's absence.
Yeah, I think Cam Lewis has done a good job, as sure as Jordan told us. Both of those guys got to play and do a good job. They've had a good week of practice. They're going to be challenged, but I think they're up for the challenge.
So Cam Lewis has been around forever, and he's finally getting his chance to play significant snaps. Jordan Tolles was a freshman last year who struggled. Now remember, of course, you got Jay Ward, you got Major Burns back there in the secondary as your starting safeties. Jay Ward's not going to play. And it looks like Todd Harris might be injured as well. Nobody asked about Todd Harris today, but he was injured and didn't play last week. So you are dipping into your depth there at the safety spot. And Jim McElwain is a good play caller. That's the one sort of bit of apprehension I have about the game. If you go back to UCLA, it's not necessarily that UCLA's Jimmies and Joes were that much better than LSU. But you saw LSU consistently out of position and out-schemed by a very good play caller in Chip Kelly. Well, that's similar this week with Central Michigan, where Jim McElwain's a very good offensive coach, man. I mean, he was the offensive coordinator at Alabama under Nick, and then, of course, became the head coach at Florida and won a lot of games there. And before he, look, the reason he got fired, they did win plenty, but the way you win and the manner in which you carry yourself in Gainesville does kind of matter to those people. And now he's at Central Michigan, and I think he's a very competent, capable play caller. LSU's a 3-touchdown favorite in this ball game. I think it was 20, might be down to 19 or so, or 19 and a half. But LSU should win this game and should win it easily. But if you're looking at those positions in particular, I'm not worried about LSU in their pass rush, sans Ali Gaye. I am a little more concerned about them not having Jay Ward in that secondary because Jay Ward and Major Burns are your starting safeties, and that's been the bugaboo for LSU. The safeties and the linebackers, their inability to cover backs and tight ends. I don't worry about Derek Stingley and Elias Ricks covering out on the boundary. I think they're fine. They're arguably the best cover corner tandem in all of college football. Can Jim McElwain will look at what UCLA did so successfully. Can LSU stop it? Because you better believe they're going to try to replicate it. So, and can some of those younger guys maybe have a better performance this week? For what it's worth, against Missouri, Central Michigan threw for 301 yards in that game. And last week against Robert Morris, I get it was Robert Morris in a 45-0 win. There were 8, they played like 3 or 4 quarterbacks. 18 of 26 for 228 and 4 touchdowns. Very efficient in the passing game is Central Michigan. So big challenge for LSU secondary to make sure that that they played a much better level than they did against UCLA. And something I'll continue to reiterate all week, I like how LSU's schedule plays out. Because after the UCLA loss, they didn't have to jump right back into the deep end. They basically have a month-long stair step up in competition. From UCLA, you went to McNeese, an FCS opponent. Now you go to Central Michigan, a group of 5 opponents. Pretty good. And you're going to go to Mississippi State, who's on the lower rung of the SEC. I know they beat you last year, but it's not like you're going to Bama or Florida or A&M or any of those right now. So So you go to Mississippi State, and then you go to Auburn. So you basically have a month-long stair step to try to improve. And as we've talked about, it is allowed that teams can improve throughout the course of the season. The best comp would be 2017. When LSU got blown out by Mississippi State 37-7 and then lost to Troy, I don't think there was anybody thinking that LSU team was going to go on any kind of a run. And they ended up going 6-1 the rest of the way. I don't think that's the reality for this team. I think they're going to have some major struggles throughout the course of this year. But they are allowed to improve. Let's see if they can continue doing that this week against Central Michigan and as they move into conference play. All right, it's after further review. One big question is when and if they'll have running back John Emery back. By now, you know he's academically ineligible as ruled by the NCAA. However, he has retained the services of attorney Don Jackson, the same attorney that helped Christian Fulton get eligible. He's a noted attorney that many defendants lean on whenever they are, or many people lean on whenever they are challenging the NCAA. And Don Jackson's going to join us next to talk about John Emery's case. Stay with us. It's AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Ichiban, Essen near Perkins. Voted by you the best sushi and best hibachi in the Best of 225 awards. Tell you all the time. Make tonight an Ichiban night. Order yourself a Moscona roll. Take a picture of it. Tweet it. Post it on Instagram, Facebook. Tag me. I would love to share it. Give you a shout out on air. It's decadent award-winning sushi. It is Ichiban. And from our friends at Ichiban, their latest concept is Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street. If you are when I say ramen, if in your mind what you're thinking is that like 25-cent stuff that I used to buy at the grocery store just to survive in college, this ain't that. These are handmade noodles. This is broth that is a 30-hour process. This is a dining experience, which is fast, casual, convenient, affordable, and Bo-Ru is attached to the Sweet Society dessert shop, so you can have your authentic Japanese desserts as well, along with dinner. Dinner and dessert all in one place. It's Bo-Ru Ramen in Electric Depot on Government Street.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines, fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
soffrire un caffè. Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
So a few years ago, we got to know attorney Don Jackson as he was helping Christian Fulton attain his eligibility or regain his eligibility. And LSU has called on Don Jackson once again now that John Emery is ineligible, being declared that by the NCAA. And Attorney Jackson's good enough to spend a couple of minutes with us here. Attorney Jackson, Don, thanks so much for the time. How are you?
Just fine. Thanks for having me.
It's our pleasure. We appreciate the time. Can we just start maybe with a little bit of a timeline? Because there's a lot of people listening who were very surprised by the news a week ago that John Emery was ineligible and are trying to play a little bit of catch-up.
Well, I think he was equally surprised, as was his family. As I understand it, the university filed a waiver. Well, this really goes back much further than that. As a result of all of the things that have happened over the last 18 months with COVID, the young man and his family have just had an extraordinarily difficult time. And that resulted in him not meeting continuing eligibility requirements as far as the NCAA is concerned. During that period, his mother contracted COVID, his stepfather contracted COVID, and as a result of that was hospitalized for an extended period of time and still having ongoing difficulties. The young man's grandmother died after a lengthy bout with cancer. It's just been a very difficult time. Most recently, as a result of the hurricane, the family's home was flooded. So they had an extraordinary number of issues that have adversely impacted the family, and these are all mitigating factors as far as the waiver was concerned. He wound up 3 credit hours short of continuing eligibility requirements. Well, we want to contextualize that a little bit. This past summer, the young man was an honor student, made extraordinary grades, and he was limited in the number of credit hours that he could take during the summer session. Had he been able to take the 3 additional credit hours, he would have been eligible. Well, NCAA legislation allows schools to pursue a waiver of continuing eligibility requirements of mitigating factors that resulted in a student athlete not being able to meet those requirements. This situation is a textbook example of the reason as to why waivers like that are granted. The university filed for waiver, continuing eligibility waiver form, and that waiver was denied. There have been 2 appeals that were filed, and those appeals were both rejected. Well, I got involved on Sunday. Keith Fulton, Christian Fulton's father, referred the family to me, and as a result of that, I got involved. Anytime you have a waiver denial or any kind of adverse decision by the NCAA, whether it's a drug testing issue, an initial eligibility issue, or continuing eligibility issue, you can always submit new information and reopen that. And that was my reason for being retained and associated in this case. It's our goal to provide the information that's needed to contextualize the difficulty that he's faced as a student athlete. Hopefully we'll be able to satisfy the NCAA and get him back on the field in fairly short order.
Don, was that information, the contextualization, not included in the waiver?
It was rejected, but we are providing additional information, additional documentary support to what he did in Christian Fulton's case several years ago.
Okay. Attorney Don Jackson is our guest. What is some of that new information that was not included in the waiver?
It's really a more detailed analysis of the issue and actual documentary support that wasn't provided the first time around. Maybe because the university wasn't aware of it. So it's essentially a more detailed analysis of the issues that will include statements from family members, statements from other people that had knowledge of the young man's difficulty that may not have been available to the university the first time around.
What about the objection that some have said that, well, you knew, I guess, last fall or spring that he was going to be these credit hours short. Why couldn't you address it then?
Well, the reality of the matter is I don't think anyone really knew about that because I'm not sure how much information people really had regarding the issues in his family. Some of the issues have been addressed in the media already. There was a considerable amount of media coverage of his stepfather's illness. The stepfather's a minor league manager, and some of that was included the first time around. Some of it was publicly available. There are other things that were not publicly available that we're attempting to provide at this point.
You have obviously been down this road so many times with the NCAA in so many different cases. What kind of precedent exists for a situation similar? I know no two cases are exactly the same, but is there precedent, or what kind of precedent exists for John Emery to have a favorable result and to be back on the field this fall?
Considerable precedent. I mean, several years ago, I was involved with an athlete from Manhattan College. He was a soccer player that came over from Great Britain. The NCAA denied. They actually took 2 seasons of competition away from him, 2 years of eligibility when he came into the United States. So at the end, midway during his second year of eligibility, which he thought was going to be his final year of eligibility, the family wound up getting me involved. His father was a former English Premier League soccer player. The family wound up getting me involved and provided additional information to contextualize the adverse decision. And he got those 2 years of eligibility back at Manhattan College and a number of other issues. I mean, student athletes that have transferred, they were denied transfer waivers for one reason or the other. Additional contextualization was provided. After that was provided, the waiver was granted. There's considerable precedent for a reevaluation of earlier decisions and a reversal of those earlier decisions. Even right down to situations, for example, involving student athletes that have failed drug tests, been suspended for a year, and additional information was provided, not through an appeal, but through a reconsideration of the facts. And when that additional contextualization was provided, they were given their eligibility back and went out on the field and field, court, or pitch and performed during that season. And we're optimistic and hopeful that we'll get a similar decision by the NCAA. And the other issue here is, and we're certainly hoping not to project that far ahead, by providing that new information, if that information is rejected by the NCAA staff, he would then be able to appeal that decision to an appeal subcommittee with a more complete factual support, with more complete factual support of the mitigating grounds for waiver.
One more for you, and your time always appreciated. What about a timeline moving forward? The season's obviously 2 weeks old with 10 weeks to go. So what's a realistic timeline here for John Emery to have a decision by the NCAA to see if he can get back on the field?
Realistically, we don't anticipate that that's going to happen by this weekend. The best case scenario, we're able to submit documentation by the end of this week. If that happens, the case would be docketed for next week. It would be submitted to the NCAA staff for consideration, and if necessary, documented for an appeal next week. And the best case scenario would be the student athlete, family, university receiving a favorable decision in time for him to be on the field by the opening game of the SEC schedule.
We'll certainly hope for that, and we hope for a favorable decision for John Emery to get back on the field. Attorney Don Jackson, we always appreciate a couple of minutes. Know you're very busy. Thank you for the time.
Thank you. Have a good evening.
You do the same. It's After Further Review. We're brought to you by Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. I'll react to that in just a moment. Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. Of course, they did take some damage at their Harahan office, but no worries. Michelli is still online and working for their clients. All of their calibration labs, the rest of them in Louisiana, online, full functioning in every office, of course, around the country, fully online. Michelli Weighing and Measurement. And Michelli is hiring. So if you're looking for work, they're looking for you. It's Michelli Weighing and Measurement, Michelli.com. Get all those vowels correct. Michelli, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. If you weigh or measure something in your industry, everything from giant industrial equipment or the amount of force it takes to open a bag of potato chips, well, that's all calibrated. It has to be plugged into a machine. Well, how are those machines calibrated? Michelli Weighing and Measurement. Michelli.com, Michelli.com, Michelli.com. Interesting conversation there with Attorney Don Jackson, who's representing John Emery. So much of the question is going to be who's at fault for John Emery being 3 credit hours short. And like I told you on Monday, I don't care the reason. The fact that this was a year ago and you were unaware of it, to me, is unacceptable. If you were aware of it and you allowed it to go all the way up to the opening week of the season and you were allowing John Emery to continue practicing as if he were going to play and be a key member of your team, and that was not the case, that's a failure. Now, moving forward, I want John Emery eligible. Are you kidding me? Let me not speak in absolutes. I am overwhelmingly in favor of student athletes. I am pro-student athlete. I was pro-student athlete NIL. I'm pro-student athlete transfer portal. I'm pro-student athlete eligibility, whatever it is. Like, college football makes enormous amounts of money, and the way the system is set up does not benefit the student athlete. So anytime the student athlete can get something, it will be a really severe outlier for me to oppose that. So yeah, I want that kid to be able to play running back. Because it's going to help LSU. I think he's a dynamic player, and that's awesome. I would love that. But I would also want the kid to just sit out because he missed 3 credit hours. If there's an appeal, a waiver possibility that Don Jackson all laid out there and it's able to work, hell yeah, I want John Emery to play. For every possible reason you can imagine wanting that kid to be able to play. I want him to play. So I hope they win the waiver of the appeal, and I hope he's able to play against Mississippi State for the remainder of this season. All right, it's After Further Review. Taylor Calandro in 15 minutes, a little Bourbon Dictionary. You're going to be tailgating this weekend. Got some booze questions, maybe a cocktail recipe or want a new suggestion. Get your questions in for Taylor Calandro. You can email me. You can tweet me at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat and the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, or you can always text your question in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary in about 15 minutes. We'll knock out a break, come back, go around the SEC. Stay here. It's AFR.
AFR.
A lot of people continuing the recovery post-Ida. If that's you and you've got a downed or damaged fence, Pinnacle Exterior Construction can help. If you need to remove a tree from your property, Pinnacle Exterior Construction can help. They are fantastic at what they do. And, of course, they can build you a beautiful custom pool or an outdoor kitchen like they're doing for me and my family right now. If it's fences, decks, bulkheads, Pinnacle Exterior Construction does all of that. It's gorgeous. Go look at the work. But right now, of course, they've allocated a lot of their resources to helping recover post-Hurricane Ida. So, still got a tree down on your property that you need chopped up and hauled away, Pinnacle Exterior Construction. You got a fence that's down, damaged, needs to be repaired or replaced, Pinnacle Exterior Construction can help with that. It's Pinnacle Exterior Construction. 757-6138. 757-6138. 757-6138. Or online at pecbuilt.com for Pinnacle Exterior Construction.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at patientplusuc.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
So there's a new rule that is being considered by the Division I Football Oversight Committee. There had been some hints about this. As a matter of fact, Ross Dellinger talked to us about it about a month ago, maybe right after SEC Football Media Days, so a couple months ago. But it is now official. The Football Oversight Committee says they will consider a one-year waiver that would allow football programs to go over the yearly signing limit of 25. So I'll make this as simple as I possibly can. Every year on signing day, teams can sign 25 prospects in a given year. So it's your initial 25, and it's hard capped. So December, February combined, and then if you have spots available after that, you can add a grad transfer or a transfer, and you have to have an initial 25. You can only sign 25. The problem is you've had so many players taking advantage of the new transfer rules that you have more players transferring out, plus your natural attrition, guys leaving early for the draft or injuries, whatever may happen, and teams are far below the 85-man scholarship limit. You can have 85 scholarship players, but there's no other way to add scholarship players. So what they're saying is you can replace transfers potentially if this passes, and they'll vote on it in October. You can replace a transfer with another signee. 1 for 1 up to 7. That's what's being proposed. So instead of 25, if you lose 5 transfers, you could sign 30. But you would cap it at 7. So you can only get 32. So if you lost 10 transfers, you could still only sign 7 additional players up to 32. This is fantastic for 2 reasons primarily. Number one, it's going to help coaches manage a roster. And not that coaches who make millions of dollars need anybody's sympathy, but the reality is there's a reason in college football why you have an 85-man roster limit, because you need depth, because there are injuries. And some guys just aren't ready to play at this level, and it takes time. It's not like the pros where if someone's no good, you cut them and go sign another pro. It's different in college, and so you need those numbers. So this allows coaches to manage their roster. The other benefit is going to be for high school student athletes. Lincoln Riley talked about this a couple weeks ago, if you remember. He said point blank, with the way the transfer portal is going right now, we are going to sign fewer high school athletes. We're going to leave spots open for transfers. Because take LSU this year, you're probably going to lose your entire starting offensive line. Your backups aren't great. So as we've seen right now, how is Ed Ogeron going to supplement this offensive line? Not with an incoming freshman, with a transfer, with a starter, a guy that can step in and play immediately at this level that has experience. So they're going to save more spots for transfer players. If you and so that means fewer high school athletes, we're going to get an opportunity to sign a scholarship. With this, it's if you're able to expand to replace 1 for 1 with transfers up to 7, you can still sign 25 high school kids and leave plenty of room to replace the players who transferred out with experienced players in college football at transfer positions. So it's a win-win-win. It needs to happen, and there's going to be this very fluid change around college football. There just has to be. We're in a transformative period in college football with NIL, with transfer portal, with opt-outs, with COVID, with so many things that are affecting rosters, and they have to adjust the rules to compensate, and it looks like they're going to do that. So it'll be voted on in October, and here's hoping that it'll pass. Okay, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online at southpointvw.com. Of course, you can go test drive the all-new Volkswagen Atlas, the 3-row, 7-seater family SUV, the vehicle that I drive, that my wife drives. 9 different IIHS top safety picks. You could drive any of them today at South Point Volkswagen. Airline just north of Highland, or online at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com, and the all-new Volkswagen ID4, winner of the 2021 World Car of the Year. If you can even believe that, you can reserve or build yours online right now at southpointvw.com, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Florida Gators.
Backup quarterback Anthony Richardson pulled his hamstring on his 80-yard touchdown run Saturday in the win over South Florida. Dan Mullen updated the quarterback status, said it was relatively minor and should be able to play this weekend in the game against Alabama. Mullen has stood firmly behind redshirt junior Emory Jones as his starter, but says both quarterbacks will play against Alabama. Jones has already thrown 4 interceptions in 2 games.
The Tennessee Volunteers.
Speaking of quarterback, Josh Heupel said Joe Milton returned to practice this week, but has not yet named a starter for the Tennessee Tech game this week. Both Milton and Hendon Hooker played on Saturday in the loss to Pitt. Milton started, was injured. Hooker jumped in. Harrison Bailey has not played yet this season. The Vols play Saturday against Tennessee Tech. Of course, Milton is the Michigan transfer. Hooker is the Virginia Tech transfer. And Bailey is a sophomore who made 3 starts a season ago.
The Alabama Crimson Tide.
News on linebacker Will Anderson's knee injury is a bit better than expected. Nick Saban said Anderson practiced on Tuesday. He took a shot to the right knee and left the game against Mercer just after halftime. He was the National Freshman of the Year a season ago by the FWAA. In the meantime, Chris Braswell, a sophomore, has replaced Anderson, but Anderson could be ready to roll this week against Florida. Bama and Florida kick off 2:30 from the Swamp.
the Arkansas Razorbacks.
And three-star athlete out of Tennessee, Anthony Brown, has committed to Arkansas. 6 foot, 185-pounder. He's the Hogs' 18th verbal commit for the class of 2022. Picked Arkansas over Illinois, Indiana, and Tennessee. Had offers from a ton of schools, though. Bama, Auburn, Miami, Michigan State, Oregon, others. Brown's the number 39 safety in the country, the number 17 overall prospect in the state of Tennessee, and he is headed to Arkansas. All right, there you have it. That is Around the SEC. Presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy, Trey Beal, and our friends at Gulf Coast Office Products online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale. That's what you get with Gulf Coast Office Products, the official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans. Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, y'all. Taylor Calandro coming up. Little Bourbon Dictionary into football season. Weather's getting a little crisp. Okay, not really. But it was this past weekend for at least a hot minute. About time to start pouring that bourbon. Maybe some fall brews. You got booze questions, get them in for Taylor. You can tweet us at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
You can jump in the Bayou Ford YouTube chat and the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. Or you can text me in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400, 396-4400. That's 396-4400. Text me anytime, by the way. Save that number in your phone. 396-4400. Bourbon Dictionary with Taylor Calandro. Coming up next on AFR.
AFR.
Take 60 seconds and remind you about Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Segan Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. Great news is that Clegg's is transitioning to fall. There are pumpkins. There are mums. There are squash, hay bales, corn stalks. It's all there at Clegg's Nursery. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, as I mentioned. Segan Air Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Spring. If you need your fall decor, if you want to plant your fall vegetable garden, it's all there. If you are a deer hunter and you're getting ready for deer season, you know they've got buck busters available, the basic and the premium mix. So go pick it up at Clegg's Nursery. Any of the 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area, and of course they're partnered with True Value Hardware Store. So whatever you find at a True Value Hardware Store, you'll find at Clegg's Nursery.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
Our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
They're the gang with the slang. This is Bourbon Dictionary with Matt Moscona and Taylor Calandro.
All right, you know the drill. Get your booze questions in for Taylor Calandro, a segment sort of born out of quarantine when all anyone was doing was sitting around at home and drinking. So Taylor, Wine and Spirits Director from Calandro, is good enough to join us to talk some whiskey, some beer, some booze, whatever you got, and answer your questions. So get them in. You know how to. Taylor, thanks for the time, man. How are you?
I'm good, man. How are you?
Doing really well. Did you see that this bottle of Yamazaki 55 was sold for like I guess it's the oldest Yamazaki, which is available globally now. Have you seen this story?
I see that now, no, but that is absolutely insane.
Give me some perspective on, because I'm not admittedly a big Japanese whiskey guy, so give me some perspective on Yamazaki, and then, I mean, this is aged 55 years, which is absurd, but anyway, give me some perspective here.
Yeah, man, that I just pulled up the article and looked at it. That is a beautiful bottle and package too. Yamazaki is owned by Suntory. Suntory owns Jim Beam and Maker's Mark too now.
Okay.
Old Japanese distillery. I've said it before on the show, but Japanese whiskey, for people that haven't tried it, a good analogy would be the way the Japanese have done it. They've taken influences from everywhere, whether it be American whiskey, Scotland, Ireland. They've taken it from everywhere and made their own. And their whiskey has American influence in it. You get a bourbony thing going on. It's got Scottish influences in it. Some are a little smoky, a little peaty. But I really enjoy Japanese whiskey, and this is crazy. I did not know this was happening. This is news to me, actually.
If you have, is there, so like the Japanese whiskey that I've tried, it hasn't honestly been my super duper favorite. So like, is there something that would be good for me to try that would be sort of like a good, agreeable, palatable starter?
I'm going to have to think about that because Japanese in general kind of run very congruent they run together. Their flavor profiles are very similar. I have a couple in mind that I could get you to try that might turn you around.
All right.
But in the Yamazaki, in 2016, I believe, they won World Whiskey of the Year with their sherry finished whiskey. So Yamazaki itself is extremely hard to find. The 12 and the 18 years, the ones you'll see on the shelf, but those are like blends basically.
Mm-hmm.
You just can't find them. And this 55 years, totally insane to me.
Did you see a retail price on that, by the way? Like, what would a 55-year-old Yamazaki retail for? Here it is. No, here it is. It's on here. 100 bottles, $65,000 per bottle.
I think it MSRP'd at $27,000. So,
oh God.
Man, I've tried whiskey that expensive before too, and it's not worth it.
I don't know that any whiskey. Well, by the way, that was an absurd flex just now that you just like passively thrown out there that you've tried whiskey that expensive or that. Yeah.
I had to.
Here's a question. Let's get to Ask Taylor. So if you've got questions, fire away. You can tweet your questions at Matt Moscona.
Hey, Twitter world.
Thank you, Juice. You can jump in the Bayou Forward YouTube chat, the Watch 104.5 ESPN YouTube channel. I'll get to your questions there. And you can always text in the 225-396-4400, 396-4400. Craig says, ask Taylor if you have any future plans for Nulu picks. He writes, the Toasted Barrel Rye is phenomenal.
No, I haven't heard from those guys yet. But if there is something that does become available, we will certainly be on it. And in the same breath of barrel picks, I found out this week we're getting a Four Roses barrel pick some point, maybe the end of the year, but beginning of next year. So
is Nulu like what is Nulu? Is that like bourbon?
I'm not super familiar. It's a distillery. I'm not sure. I'm not super familiar with Nulu. I have seen their stuff floating around, but I have not really done a whole lot of research on the actual place.
Sorry about that. Ask Taylor, any new barrel picks?
Well, I've talked about the Heaven's Door the past couple of weeks. We were supposed to get another pick today, a Russell Reserve pick, but it did not ship. Still having logistical issues with a lot of our distributors. And like I just mentioned, we should be receiving a Four Roses pick, hopefully before the end of the year, early next year.
Ooh. Did you mention that on a previous episode here?
I mentioned it 30 seconds.
Oh, sorry. I
flipped it in there.
I was reading the next question. Sorry. I completely missed that.
No, yeah. So we got told this week that we were going to be receiving Four Roses barrel, hopefully by the end of the year, more than likely early next year.
All right, send me a bottle. Andrew Brister said, Taylor, how much alcohol will it take me to get through LSU football for the rest of the season?
Dude, just go out there and have fun. I mean,
it's hard to have fun when they stink.
I know, but I don't know because I'm in the same boat. So if you figure it out, let me know too.
Let's see. Ask Taylor, any new stouts coming in for the fall?
I mean, I'm sure there's a bunch of stouts coming. There's so much beer being turned around and flipped every week. I could probably list 1,000 of them that are coming before the end of the year. So
give me a good one.
But we should hopefully be getting Bourbon County brand stout from Goose Island, which usually comes Black Friday every year. So that's in late November. But this time of year is when breweries start putting out stouts and barrel-aged stouts and yada, yada, yada. So I'll definitely be on the lookout for that because those are considered cold weather beers for sure.
I see what's happening. We got like a serious one, then a stupid one, a serious one, then a stupid one. As Taylor, do I mix my Pappy with Diet Dr. Pepper or Big Red?
My grandfather, God rest his soul, his favorite beverage on earth was Big Red, and I'm sure he would have mixed Pappy with it too. So go ahead, man. If you own it, it's yours. Do whatever you want with it.
I completely agree. I mean, I would cry a little bit. What is Big Red?
I don't even know what the flavor is supposed to be. It's just a red carbonated drink in a can. It's kind of like red cream soda-ish.
Okay. That sounds
it's
familiar.
Good.
Like maybe something I had in my grandparents circa 86 or so, but like.
Oh, it still exists.
Okay.
My grandfather used to blow through them.
Okay.
He loved it. I don't know. So that's the only reason I know what it tastes like.
Let's see. This one said Highland Park 12 is a great jumping point. Is Highland Park 12 a Japanese whiskey?
No, Highland Park is a Scotch.
Okay, I'm not really a Scotch guy. You know that.
Highland Park 12 is actually a very good beginner Scotch if you're going to go the beginner route.
I don't know that I'm going to do that. I think you know that as well. I've kind of listen. There was another one said. Well, that person's probably answering this question, which was asked Taylor best entry level Scotch.
I would go with a young Highland from the region of Scotland. Just find out. Go to a store. tell them you want to try some new scotch, and say you want something from the Highlands.
Oh, man. Someone Roy Dupuy just texted me pictures. This is a $72,000 bottle available in Dubai. The amount of people that spend that kind of money, or whoever spends that kind of money. I mean, look, if you got it to blow, whatever. I mean, spend your money on whatever you want to spend your money on. But,
I don't know how much time we got left, but a few years ago,
20 seconds.
Me and my dad got invited to a private tasting with Balvenie Scotch, and they had a 50-year-old they opened, and that retails for about $75,000. So,
all right, Taylor with a flex on his way out the door. He is Taylor Calandro, Wine and Spirits Director over at Calandro's 2 locations in Baton Rouge. Joins us here on Whiskey Wednesday for Bourbon Dictionary. We always appreciate it, man. Have a great weekend. We'll see you next week.
All right, man. Go Tigers. All
right, man. We'll see you. It is after further review. We'll kick off hour number 2. Sean Payton getting an early start on the Panthers.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana, Blue Bonnet in Baton Rouge, Ambassador Caffrey in Lafayette, online, theantiagingclinics.com, theantiagingclinics.com. If you go to sleep at night and you have trouble falling asleep or staying asleep, if when you wake up in the morning you don't feel rested, if you go about your day in early afternoon, you're sluggish and you need a nap, if you don't have the motivation to get into the gym, or if you go to the gym and you're just not seeing results, you are experiencing what every man and woman experience, which is as we age. Women go through menopause and men go through andropause. The hormones that our body naturally creates to contribute to how we feel and things like that, we naturally start producing less of them. So a simple blood test can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy. It's safe, it's affordable, it's available at the Aesthetic Medicine and Anti-Aging Clinics of Louisiana. Men, women, young, old, check it out online. theantiagingclinics.com.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Take Urban Meyer's name off the list of coaching candidates for the opening at USC. That from the Jaguars coach himself today. He said there's no chance he'd leave for that job. He's committed to trying to build an organization in Jacksonville. Former Packers tight end Jermichael Finley joined Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max today and had some pretty strong comments regarding Green Bay's embarrassing loss in the season opener and quarterback Aaron Rodgers. Finley attributed the loss to a lack of preparation. And when it comes to Rodgers, he shows a lack of work ethic and a lack of one leadership quality, according to Finley.
He's a quarterback that doesn't never take blame for himself. He's that guy, if I throw the ball to the receiver's got to catch it, wherever it's at. He's not a guy, if you go into the film room and he made a bad pass, he's not that guy who's going to raise his hand and say, oh, that's my bad. He's going to make sure the coaches know that that's all on you. I got the ball there, you got to catch the ball.
Jermichael Finley on Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. ESPN's Jordan Ronan reporting Giants running back Saquon Barkley expected to play tomorrow at Washington as long as there's no setback with his knee. It's a matchup of 0-1 NFC East teams.
Want to look like $1 million? Upgrade to a Dollar Shave Club 6-blade razor for a noticeably smooth shave thanks to their 6 precision-cut stainless steel blades. Find your perfect shave with Dollar Shave Club stores. Yep, that's Dollar Shave Club in store. So go to the store and find them.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
I appreciate it, bud. Have a good one.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Muso. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Russ Mitchell next hour. Jamar Chase just absolutely open hand slapping his doubters. We'll get to that coming up here in a little bit. A Saints injury report is out, the first injury report here of Panthers week, and it is a bit lengthy, as you might expect coming off the season opener. Some of this we already knew. Let's just run through it very quickly. Let's hear some of what Sean Payton had to say today. Quan Alexander did not practice, elbow. Marcus Davenport with the shoulder injury also did not practice. Same for Tano Passanio with a calf injury. Marshawn Lattimore did not practice with a hand injury. Eric McCoy out with the calf injury. Trevor Siemian did not practice due to illness. Pete Werner did not practice due to a hamstring injury. P.J. Williams got the day off because of a back injury. C.J. Gardner-Johnson and Chase Hansen both were limited. Chauncey with the knee and Chase Hansen with a groin injury. So that is a pretty lengthy. It's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 players on the injury report. My guess is quite a bit of that is just veterans getting a day off, nursing injuries, no need to rush back. Travel, of course, from Fort Worth to Jacksonville, back to Fort Worth, then to Carolina. Really a difficult week. You want to make sure guys are healthy and ready to roll for Sunday. But it does look like they're not going to have Eric McCoy and obviously Marshawn Lattimore as well. Jameis Winston, as we speak right now, is meeting with the media. Mike Triplett, our friend from ESPN.com, just tweeted this a moment ago. Jameis Winston talking about McCoy. While there's been no timetable specified, said they're going to miss him. Says he knows McCoy will be in Cesar Ruiz's ear helping him out. Said it helps that he worked with Ruiz at center so much last summer. Of course, when Jameis was running as a backup and Ruiz was the backup center. So those two have a little bit of that rapport there. But essentially does confirm that McCoy will be out, which we kind of knew. The question was, would Ruiz stay at center? Would he go to right guard? And they'd have a backup in at center. But it looks like they're going to go with what they went with mid-game, which is Ruiz at center, Throckmorton at right guard. Now, a couple of other things that Sean Payton talked about today when he met with the media. First of all, he did keep like two please. He did give an update on the COVID situation, which became a big news item a day ago with 8 members of the Saints organization testing positive.
There's a group of offensive coaches, along with our nutritionist, one player that have tested positive, and all are vaccinated. So the protocol obviously is enhanced with the team and the staff, and that's part of it. And then those that have tested positive, like everyone else, test daily now, and they're going to need 2 negative tests essentially before they can be back in the building and working. And we don't know the timing or the time frame on that, but they're all offensive coaches. I said to Pete today and Ronald and Zach, I said, it's like Ted Lasso, the 3 or 4 of us. The rest of them are all up in their hotel rooms, and they're doing the best they can with preparation, and yet we meet today, for instance, in bigger groups than spread out, but we're meeting with the receivers and the running backs and the quarterbacks as opposed to breaking out into those subgroups, just kind of covering the information.
Dynamite Ted Lasso drop in there as well by Sean Payton. So it is Carolina week, and one of the gigantic fears that I have this week with this game is there's 2 factors at play. Number one is just the letdown factor. You get sky high, you play this incredible game, you're an underdog and you blast Green Bay 38-3. Now all of a sudden you're the toast of the town. You've put everybody on alert. How do you avoid getting the big head and having the letdown when you got to go on the road again now in a division game against Carolina, who's got to have a little confidence after their Week 1 win over the Jets? Here was Sean Payton talking about this Panthers team compared to the one that was year 1 a season ago under Matt Rule.
Look, they had a good win last week, and I would say on both sides of the ball and in the kicking game, there's some similarities, and yet there's some dramatic differences. Man, they played fast last week. I thought it was a physical game for them. Defensively, they've added a few pieces, in the offseason and free agency. It was good defense a year ago, and I think it's a better defense this year just after, seeing the game against New York. Offensively, it's a significant change at quarterback when you have a starter that's different. McCaffrey's healthy. It's always a battle when you play a division opponent like this, and they're coming off a big win, so it's an important game.
A giant truck apparently is rolling by Sean Payton as he's doing his Zoom meeting or his teleconference there. But he did mention Christian McCaffrey. And listen, McCaffrey's season a year ago was cut short due to injury, and so much of that offense is built around McCaffrey the same way that so much of the Saints offense is built around Alvin Kamara. So it's almost unfair. Look, Teddy Bridgewater was the quarterback a year ago, obviously, and despite when he got injured, so much of that is just built around him. McCaffrey only played 3 games a season ago. And so now you're prepared, and he didn't play neither of the game against the Saints. So now you're preparing again for the Saints with Christian McCaffrey, and here was Sean Payton elaborating a bit on him.
Yeah, look, he does a lot. You got to defend him in space in the passing game. You got to defend him, at the running back position. They hand him the ball, they throw him the ball. He's got great versatility and balance, and you have to really know where he's at on each play and understand how you want to defend him based on his location.
That is going to be a gigantic challenge, and it's one of the reasons that you're thrilled to have Quan Alexander back. Guys like Quan Alexander and C.J. Gardner-Johnson primarily are the guys that you're expecting to go run and cover in space when it's backs coming out of the backfield like McCaffrey. So a huge challenge this week for those guys. So you get them healthy and you roll this week. Sean Payton did also confirm that Bradley Roby, who they acquired last week from the Houston Texans, his suspension is up and he is with the team right now.
He'll start practicing today. He'll start practicing with us today now. So today's our, first day out on the field, and we'll start working him at practice.
So Bradley Roby being back is significant, or being available, I should say, is significant because it coincides with Marshawn Lattimore's injury. And, of course, you'd love for Lattimore to be healthy and available, but it almost is certain that he's not going to play this week after having surgery on his hand. So now you bring in Bradley Roby, and he's going to be your number one boundary corner. So Roby will start this week, I would assume. I can't imagine it going any other way than Roby on one side and very likely Paulson Adebo on the other. And after 1 week, Sean Payton really liked what he saw from the rookie out of Stanford.
Some of the things that we always discuss when we're evaluating players, the one thing that's hard to predict is how quickly they're going to transition into being ready to play, and especially if they miss a season like he had. To his credit, he's picked things up quickly, so I think that helps a lot. And then, there's a confidence level he's playing with, but that's I think one of the harder things to predict in evaluating college players to our level is, you're trying to gauge how quickly the player learns, but there's sometimes it takes a year, sometimes the player comes in right away. And fortunately for us, he's someone that's transitioned into that position pretty smoothly.
It's worth repeating that Paulson Adebo 2 seasons ago was considered a guy that could have been, coming out of 2020, a first-round draft pick. I mean, he had that type of buzz around him as a long athletic corner at Stanford. Well, he opted out a season ago, and for a lot of guys, the opt-out hurt. I mean, one of the things I think we learned a season ago with the opt-outs is if you're an elite player, if you are Jamar Chase, if you are Micah Parsons, if you are one of those elite top-end players, the opt-out's not going to hurt you. But where there's a little bit of ambiguity and question around a player, if you don't play, you don't put that tape out there, that game film out there, it could very well hurt. I think Paulson Adebo is one of those guys who stood to gain a lot by playing, and by opting out, he dropped in the draft, and potentially this is one of those things where the Saints have a big hit on a middle-round pick because of an opt-out that might have cost them much more draft capital had he played the 2020 season. Another guy who's – and look, and this is a week where – you're going into Carolina, and I mentioned Christian McCaffrey. McCaffrey led the Panthers in receptions this past week. He had 9 catches for 89 yards in their Week 1 win against the Jets. But you got DJ Moore, you got Robbie Anderson. I mean, the Saints' corners are going to be challenged in this game. And we know it's Joe Brady's offense, and we know Sam Darnold's going to sling it, and Carolina's got good receivers, and Terrace Marshall's there as well. So it's going to be a big challenge for those guys. I'd feel much better about it if Lattimore were playing. I'd feel much better about it if Eric McCoy weren't injured, because I know the old adage Mike D always told us, which is 80% of the time a team loses its starting center, they fail to cover the following week. So that's just ingrained into my brain, and I'm worried about that. But the Saints are still a better team. They're going to have to go prove it. They will have Kenny Stills back as well, and they did confirm that news that Kenny Stills has rejoined the New Orleans Saints, and Sean Payton did talk about bringing the receiver back.
Yeah, so we had a workout yesterday with a handful of players. We signed Kenny, and then each week we'll get a feel for where we're at with our roster. I'm real familiar with him. He's extremely smart. He's a really good transitional player, and I think he'll bring to our group a few things that I think he does very well. And so week to week we'll see what our vision is relative to the game.
Just as far as one other quick roster note, the Saints, Jaleel Johnson got signed off the practice squad by the Texans. And this does underscore something we talked about yesterday, which is a position that we thought was going to be a position of weakness is all of a sudden a position of strength. When Jaleel Johnson, who 27 years old, former 4th-round draft pick, 54 games played in his career, 20 games start. For perspective, Jaleel Johnson has more experience than all of the Saints' undrafted free agent defensive linemen combined. And he was a practice squad guy that just got signed away by Houston. That's how confident the Saints are in their defensive line right now, and they're still going to get David Onyemata back. They've turned that position of weakness into a position of relative strength. But with Jaleel Johnson being signed away, the Saints currently have 52 of their 53 roster spots available, so they have 1 roster spot available, and only 14 of the 16 practice squad spots are occupied. So there's going to be some more additions. We'll keep an eye on who, but 1 more will be added to the active roster and 2 more available to be added to the practice squad. So when that happens, we'll certainly let you know. All right, it's after further review. We'll knock out a quick break. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
Buying or selling a home? Call the realtor that's in the top 1% of realtors in America. Call the realtor that sells more homes in our area than anyone. Call the realtor that wants to give you an unbelievable customer service experience. Call Darren James and get your home sold. 335-7666, 335-7666, or agent225.com, agent225.com. Darren often refers to the way he runs his business, the way you'd hear at Disneyland or the Ritz-Carlton. It's all about an unbelievable customer service experience. Darren knows that he can't make you remember him, but he wants to provide service, a level of service that makes it impossible for you to forget him and the way that his company does business. Not what you hear all the time from realtors, is it? You need to sell your home? Call Darren James.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
And our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
In most cases, you'll never get more for your trade-in than right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Now's your chance to upgrade. You can pre-order your new Toyota today or choose one of our pre-owned vehicles and we'll buy back your current vehicle at a price that will absolutely amaze you. You can walk away with more money in your pocket than you ever thought possible. At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, that's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that...
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Great spot to watch football weekend, of course, over at Pluckers, and trivia tonight. Nicholson, just south campus. Nicholson Bluebonnet Dining Care at Pluckers. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird. Speaking of NFL, opening weekend of the NFL, the second highest TV ratings for week one over the past 5 seasons. An average of 17.4 million viewers, just off the highest pace back in 2017 of 17.6 million viewers. So nearly equal. That was 2019, excuse me. Incredible. The top 6 broadcasts in the country this past week were NFL games. Monday night's game with the Raiders and Ravens, the highest ranked Monday night football game in week 1 since 2013. Peyton and Eli, the silly companion show they did on ESPN2, had 800,000 viewers. Nearly 1 million people watched Peyton and Eli do the thing they did on ESPN2. The most watched game of the weekend, Bucs-Cowboys, the opener, 26.4 million viewers on NBC and digital. It's the most watched first game of the season since 2015. CBS had the second most watched opening week window since it resumed carrying games back in 1998. The Green Bay-New Orleans game on Fox, 16.24 million viewers. What happened to everybody that was done with the NFL after 2016? Y'all, this nation is football crazed. It's football obsessed. Forgive me while I state the absolute obvious, but I'm sure some of you decided to leave the NFL in 2016. Most of y'all were just lying, bro. What a weekend for the NFL. It's phenomenal theater. I'd still maintain the NFL, when you look at historical trends, the NBA is aging down and the NBA and the NFL is aging up. And that's a problem for the NFL long term. But right now, there is no mistaking who is king. It is the NFL. If you want to play daily fantasy, of course, DraftKings is the official daily fantasy partner of the NFL, putting you right in the center of the Week 2 action. So, phenomenal Week 1. And remember, you can have a chance at winning millions of dollars of prizes. And to win millions, you start with
$1 million.
To get in on the action, download the DraftKings app. Use the code Baton Rouge. New customers get a free shot to win millions in prizes. Again, download the DraftKings app. Download the DraftKings app. Use the code Baton Rouge. One word altogether, Baton Rouge. Get a free shot at winning millions of dollars. It's only at DraftKings. So pick your lineup, stay under the salary cap, see how your team stacks up against the competition. It is DraftKings. Minimum $5 deposit required. Eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for details. Jamar Chase was a big topic of conversation throughout the preseason because he had some dropsies, and people were like, what's wrong with Jamar Chase and all that stuff. Well, then he went out week 1 and balled out. 5 receptions, 101 yards. He was a primary target on third down at the big 50-yard touchdown reception, the first of his career, a dime from Joey B there at the end of the first half. And he helped the Bengals get an overtime win over the Vikings 27-24 in week 1. Jamar Chase was a guest on Good Morning Football on the NFL Network, and he had a message for his doubters.
I like to tell them, enjoy the show. That's all I can tell them. A lot of news coming. I've been hearing this since I was young, you know what I'm saying? But I'm not worrying about it. This is my job right here, you know, and my job is to catch the football and make plays. So I'm going to let them sit back and enjoy the show.
Enjoy the show. Yeah. I got a question for you. You're a hater? You're a doubter? If you're someone who is sitting back, going, oh man, Jamar Chase, opt out, forgot how to play football, bust, self-centered guy, failed on his teammates, lines on the football, can't see him. What did you expect? What did you expect? Give me that a little louder. Get the Gat has to be played at full throat, by the way. You don't casually throw Get the Gat out there, just like you don't casually try to throw shade at Jamar Chase. What did you expect from a Bayou baller? What did you expect from a dude that did Get the Gat at the White House? What did you expect from Joey B's wingman? What did you expect from a dude that was born in Harvey, NOLA bred, NOLA raised, LSU baller, Bolitnikoff, NFL? Did you think Jamar Chase was going to walk onto an NFL field and forget how to be fast and athletic and strong and physical and how to catch a football and think he's been doing naturally his whole life better than everybody else? What did you expect from the dude that turned A.J. Terrell around like spinning on a top in the national championship game, and that dude became a first-round draft pick? He did the same to C.J. Henderson, who was a top 10 pick. Hell, he did it to Trevon Diggs, which probably cost Trevon Diggs from being a first-round draft pick as badly as Jamar Chase abused him. What did you expect to happen? Y'all thought Jamar Chase just up and forgot how to play football? Y'all sat there and listened to one silly soundbite about the white lines on a football and thought, uh-oh, Jamar Chase in trouble. You know what Jamar Chase did? He took that ish personally. I mean, the only regret I got from watching that touchdown and the show that Jamar Chase put on Sunday is that he wasn't doing get the gat in the end zone. He's doing a gritty, which is good too. I'm all about it. What did you expect? You realize Justin Jefferson had the single greatest receiving season for a rookie in NFL history. Broke the record set by Randy Moss. Biggest freak show we've ever seen at the position. He was the second best receiver on his college team, second best to Jamar Chase. What did you expect was gonna happen? Enjoy the show, y'all. Number one and Joey B. Back together again. It's only gonna get better too. Oh man, it's so good. Just gave me a good excuse to play Get the Gat again. All right, it's after further review. I'm pumped for Jamar. I mean, there was so much noise this offseason, which was just stupid, but good for him. Jamar had a great game. Joey B gets the win in overtime. The Bengals are fun to watch, man. Got a lot of LSU guys in that team. Just the state of Ohio got a bunch of LSU guys in their pro team. So we'll keep following him, cheering for him throughout the year, but Jamar's going to be just fine. I think we all knew he was going to be just fine. Russ Mitchell, about 45 minutes from right now. Recap, preview. We'll talk some SEC football with Russ. Again, 45 minutes from right now. Knock out a break. Overrated, underrated. When we come back, Muse is going to have Tigers and the Pros. Lots of ways you can get involved in the show. Call, text, email, tweet. Lots of ways you could do it. You know the drill. Join us. It's AFR.
AFR.
AFR is brought to you by Hancock Whitney, the official bank of AFR. And at Hancock Whitney, of course, their mantra is your dreams, our mission. And for a lot of people, sometimes life gets in the way. Maybe your dream of a new home or sending your kid to college or starting a business or having that dream vacation. Sometimes life gets in the way of those dreams, or sometimes it's a storm that gets in the way of those dreams. Well, at Hancock Whitney Bank for more than 120 years along the Gulf Coast, their mantra has been your dreams, our mission. They help make your dreams a reality, and they'll certainly do that as we recover post-Hurricane Ida. HancockWhitney.com to learn more. You can go to HancockWhitney.com, or you can stop by any of the financial centers along the Gulf Coast. Hancock Whitney Bank, member FDIC, equal housing lender. All loans and accounts subject to credit approval. Terms and conditions apply. That's HancockWhitney.com, HancockWhitney.com.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million-mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further. like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Urban Meyer. Jaguars are 0-1. They got walloped by a bad Texans team this past weekend. And the Southern Cal job is open, so a lot of people are opining that Urban Meyer is going to jump ship there in Jacksonville and head to USC, out to L.A., back to the college game, try to win maybe another natty at a third place, which has never been done before. But Urban Meyer flatly said, nope, not happening today.
Unfortunately for you, some rumors came out yesterday connecting you to the USC job. I just want to give you the opportunity to refute it so that you can put it to bed.
No chance. I'm here and committed to trying to build an organization.
No chance. Committed to trying to build this organization is what he said. So file that away, perhaps, along with Nick Saban's I'm not going to be the Alabama coach. For what it's worth, I don't know that I foresee Urban Meyer leaving Jacksonville after year one. It's not something that would be unprecedented. We saw Bobby Petrino leave Atlanta in the middle of the night. So yes, absolutely, it could very well happen. But I kind of do believe Herb. It's a long way to go, and you never really know. And you better believe that Freezing Cold Takes has been tagged on every one of those tweets with Urban Meyer. But just file it away. It says no chance. And I do think that that's a far, long shot from happening. So, but he's on record. See. All right, glad to have you aboard with us here. Muse will have Tigers in the Pros coming up here in just a little bit. Love telling you about the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEYE.com. We will do overrated, underrated just a second. But remember, if you want to see 2020, call 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEYE.com, WilliamsonEYE.com. It's the Williamson Eye Center. Go see Dr. Blake Williamson. They're your full-service optical shop. So if you need your eye exam, because you should always have an annual eye exam, if you need glasses or contacts, they can help you out there as well. Or if you're interested in refractive surgery like LASIK or PRK, or if it's the lens replacement or any of the other amazing procedures that Dr. Blake Williamson has introduced to Baton Rouge, the state of Louisiana, in many instances the country, check them out at the Williamson Eye Center. They state-of-the-art facility on their new location there on the Baton Rouge General Bluebonnet campus. You turn off a Bluebonnet onto Suma. You come up to that stop sign. It's the building on the right. That's the Baton Rouge General's Bluebonnet location. Check them out. WilliamsonEYE.com, or call for your free consultation, 924-2020, 924-2020 for the Williamson Eye Center. Okay, Muse, hit me with some overrated or underrated. Premise is easy. Muse throws out something, and I tell you if I think it's overrated or underrated. Doesn't necessarily just have to be about sports. It could be about anything. All right, Muse, what you got today, man?
Start with Zoom calls. Overrated or underrated?
Horribly overrated. Horribly overrated. The audio's bad.
Yes, it is.
Nobody really wants to be on camera. Am I correct?
Yeah.
Most people, I think, would prefer to just put the little...
Most people.
Your initials up with the little blue dot or red dot or whatever it is. Like, it serves the same function as a conference call.
It does.
There's no reason to do it. Now, for the purposes of television, it's changed a lot because you see a lot of people who are in media who are the talking heads who maybe can't travel. They're able to do those interviews via Zoom now as opposed to physically being somewhere. I guess there's some appeal to that, but I would still argue Zoom. Overrated. Teleconferencing works just perfectly fine. I don't need to see you with the wallpaper in your kitchen. I don't care.
Remember that time that did you see that video on Twitter? It went viral of the Zoom call between like a judge and two attorneys, and one of the attorneys was a cat. Like it was just a cat filter on him, and he didn't know how to get it off.
Yes.
And he was on there with a judge.
Okay, I changed my mind. Zoom, underrated. Zoom,
come on.
Underrated.
That was great.
Very underrated. Cats on attorneys in judge Zoom calls, underrated.
And that virtual Zoom.
All about bringing levity into life. I completely changed my mind. Zoom, underrated.
All right, there you go. See, I'm glad I could help.
For the unintentional comedy of Zoom, underrated. When people don't know that they're not muted.
Right. Y'all.
Okay, I completely changed my mind. The practicality of Zoom, how about this? The functionality of Zoom, overrated. The unintended comedy as a result of Zoom, underrated. How about that?
Yeah, that's fair.
Okay, good. I like it. All right,
we worked through it together.
We did.
That virtual Zoom, bro.
Thin Mints, overrated or underrated?
Thin Mints are very overrated. I hate to say this.
Wow.
But it's everyone's default. And I think it's because it's comfortable. And I think sometimes you look at the other cookies on the box, the pictures of the cookies on the box, and you're not sure what you're going to get. But when you explore tag-alongs, which are phenomenal, when you explore Samoas.
Those are great too.
I mean, they are infinitely superior Girl Scout cookies to the Thin Mint, but everyone just defaults to Thin Mint because it's comfortable, because you probably ate mint chocolate chip ice cream as a kid, and it's something I'm telling you, expand your horizons and you will understand that Thin Mints are a vastly inferior Girl Scout cookie and horribly overrated.
A Thin Mint out of the freezer is just so tough to beat.
A tag-along out of the
Those are
freezer
very good
is even
too.
better.
Those
A
are good
Samoa out of the freezer is even better.
I've never had a Samoa out of the freezer.
You should try it.
I need to try that.
This is exactly my point. Samoas, underrated. Thin Mints, not bad, just overrated.
Okay. Overrated or underrated, Mark Wahlberg?
Oh, underrated. Very underrated. And generationally, if people my age might only think of Mark Wahlberg from Marky Mark and the Funky Bunch as the pop singer. What we don't realize is that maybe people of a younger age maybe only know Mark Wahlberg, the actor. And he's been very diverse. He was in Daddy's Home with Will Ferrell, right? So he's been a comedic actor. He has done some very good dramatic acting as well. And he is a really good musician. Not to mention the fact that he's like super Catholic and has like 1 million kids. Did you know that? He goes to church like every day. So as a human, as a good human being, as a great actor, as a musician, Mark Wahlberg, very underrated. Many assume, based on what you know, that he's a one-trick pony. Far from it. Look this up. He gets up to work out like at 4:30 every day of his life. Super driven, a human being. Very underrated human. Mark Wahlberg.
That part shows he's kind of massive.
Yeah. Well, he's tiny. That's the thing. So maybe he's overcompensating.
Could be. I don't know.
Underrated.
Overrated or underrated, marathons?
Overrated.
Okay.
I ran 2 of them. And did you not know this?
I did not know that.
Oh, really?
I know no clue.
So I ran the
what I learned.
I ran the Marine Corps Marathon in 2005 in Washington, D.C., and I ran the New York City Marathon in 2006. And I would say that they would rank at the top of my personal athletic accomplishments in my life, having done those. I mean, I never played pro sports or anything like that or major college sports, but like to train for and complete those races was an incredible achievement. But the reason that my knees and my feet and my back always hurt is because of that. Look at I'm not a I don't have a runner's build. It was devastating my body, and if I could undo it, I would absolutely undo. I would go back and not run those races if I could feel better today.
Overrated or underrated? Jolly Ranchers.
Well, let me go back to marathons.
Okay.
I want to go back to marathons.
Forget I said anything.
Yeah, I want to go back to marathons for a second. Do you know the history of the marathon, Muse?
The guy ran the city of the Battle of Marathon, 26.2 miles.
Pheidippides was his name.
Thank you.
So Pheidippides ran from Marathon to Athens. He yells...
Victory? Was that it?
Which in Greek is?
Oh, God. Yeah, I don't remember.
Nike or Nike. That's where Nike came from.
That's true.
So anyway, amazing story, but we do know what happened to Pheidippides when he ran from Marathon to Greece and yelled victory. We know what happened to Pheidippides, right?
Yeah, he collapsed and died.
He died.
Yeah.
Right there, he died.
He did.
At that point, we should have realized no one should ever do that. That's bad. Marathons, very overrated.
It's a great story, though, honestly. Sans the man dying.
Yeah, he died.
Yeah,
he died.
That part's not great.
Yeah, that's not
the
great.
rest of it's pretty cool.
Not great, Bob.
Overrated or underrated? Jolly Ranchers. It could be the candy or the sucker, either one.
I'm going to go properly rated.
Okay.
It's a hard candy. Some people like hard candy. Some people don't. People that do enjoy Jolly Rancher, I think a Jolly Rancher is properly rated.
Overrated or underrated? Dodgeball.
The game or the movie?
No, the game. If it was the movie, we would have added a true underdog story. And that's another one that if you quote anything, I will die laughing. But,
that's true. You are.
Yeah, I love that. But the game, Dodgeball.
What are the game of Dodgeball is overrated, by the way. People get hurt playing Dodgeball. And you can really flex your superiority over people. And there's always the kid or the girl that gets pegged in the face. And there's a lot of unintended injuries from people who are not necessarily looking. Dodgeball is an overrated game. I'm not a big fan. Kickball, I would say underrated. Dodgeball, overrated.
I'll take future content for the segment. I mean,
sorry.
we could have went to kickball later next week or something.
My apologies. Do the little Men in Black flashy light memory thingy.
Yeah.
So you don't remember that I just said that.
A couple more here. Overrated or underrated? Waffles.
Oh, waffles are overrated. Waffles are overrated. Pancakes are underrated. I'm a texture guy.
He did it again.
Oh, I'm sorry. I did
He
that again.
did it again.
Well, I'm explaining why I think a waffle is
that's
overrated.
fair. That's fair.
But I also believe that people might... I think... You tell me if I'm wrong here, Muse, but my assumption is that people favor Waffle House over IHOP, the International House of Pancakes.
I definitely do, and I agree with you.
Okay.
People do.
I think that's a general assumption here. And as a result, we think waffles over pancakes. But I'm a texture guy, and I would prefer a soft, fluffy, wonderful golden pancake over a hard, crunchy, crispy waffle. So waffles are good, but are overrated because of their affiliation with the Waffle House, which, however, is not overrated.
Never.
Waffle House for any meal, any time of day is magnificent.
And honestly, the waffle might not even be the best thing on their menu.
It's not.
They have some good stuff there.
It's the thing that I get because I always have a sweet tooth. So at 2:30 in the morning, when you get out the bar and you go to Waffle House and you get the bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich with your hash browns smothered and covered, you get a waffle and a chocolate milk because I need something cold to go along with the something hot, but I also get a coffee.
Oh, it's so good. Last one. Overrated or underrated? Vanilla Ice.
Oh, Vanilla Ice, the singer.
Right.
And
actor, I guess, technically now.
Rob Van Winkle. It's his name, Rob Van Winkle.
Oh, I've only known him by Vanilla Ice. I didn't know his name.
I'm a little torn on this one, on Vanilla Ice.
Okay.
It's not often that I'm going to say that Vanilla Ice is properly rated. He is absolutely typecast.
Yes.
He is very much a one-trick pony. But the fact that 35 years after his relevance, 30 years after his relevance, you're still asking me about him and people know him, he achieved something quite magnificent. So he deserves credit for that. So properly rated.
That's overrated or underrated?
It is. And this is After Further Review, presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Nicholson, Bluebonnet, Dining Carryout. Remember, also available for delivery on Uber Eats and DoorDash. So, Pluckers, you don't like our wings, we'll flip you off. Or we'll give you the bird, sorry. All right, we're not going to break. Muse Love Tigers and the Pros next.
AFR.
Had a conversation with a buddy this morning. None too pleased with his insurance company after Hurricane Ida. The adjuster came out to look at the roof, did not do a thorough job. They tried to hose him, realized he had a really high hurricane deductible, basically was just so displeased about this whole process. And a lot of people are probably in that same boat. A storm like Ida comes through, you realize you got to file an insurance claim, and you realize how bad your coverage is, or how much you're overpaying for poor coverage, or how unreliable maybe your relationship is with your insurance agent, or maybe you don't even know your insurance agent. You can fix it with one call to Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450. Write down that number. Call it right now. Tell Siri to call it. 293-0450. 293-0450. They will shop independently to get you better coverage for less money. 293-0450. 293-0450.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Introducing Vizzy Lemonade, the only lemonade hard seltzer with antioxidant vitamin C. It just hits different. All new Vizzy Lemonade. Step up your seltzer game.
Make this summer your backyard party year with Chris's Specialty Foods. Wings, burgers, brisket, steak, and boudin, plus great Cajun side dishes. We do all the prep, and you enjoy laughing with friends and family. Chris's Specialty Foods, Millerville, New Orleans, Prairieville, and Frisco.
Everybody loves Chris's authentic Cajun meat.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Front to Back Boat Service has been family owned and operated for 30 years. And the Sherman family is NMEA certified. That's the National Marine Electronics Association at Front to Back. They are committed to improving the safety and technology of marine electronics through installer training, interface standards. And look, the fall and the winter, it's the perfect time to do that yearly maintenance you've been putting off. Get those parts you've been wanting. So schedule your appointment today at Front to Back, North Airway off of Airline Highway.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Wrapping up hour number 2. Glad to have you aboard with us. Russ Mitchell in about 25 minutes from right now. Right now, though, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Kentucky's Best Hemp. Find them online at kysbesthemp.com.
Bless you.
Thanks. Had the cough button.
Nobody even heard that.
Nope.
Yeah. Matt sneezed.
Radio professional.
Yeah. Tigers in the pros. DJ LeMahieu. No. You know, we're not ever going to do that today.
I was waiting on it. Remember yesterday, Josh Smith or the Clyde thing, and I was.
Yeah, you were distracted. You weren't even paying attention.
I was doing some show prep.
Mr. Q.
I was looking ahead and what I had to.
Show prep's to take place before the show.
Not
That's
prep.
why it's
I was looking at my next live read, and I was getting all the stuff in line.
Okay.
You know I come in here with my show prep.
I thought so, at least.
Don't you go starting rumors.
DJ LeMahieu. Oh, yeah. Don't go starting rumors. All right.
I put it on a tee for you, Muse. I put it on a tee for you, Muse. Or rather.
And just like DJ LeMahieu, I hit it out of the park. He had his 10th home run last night.
Or rather, I lit it on fire for you, Muse.
Jeez, get out of here. Stop it. 2 for 5 with a single, his 10th home run of the night last night for DJ. 2 runs scored.
Light it up, Muse.
Yanks got the win. 271 average, 10 homers, 56 RBI as the stretch run in Major League Baseball nears. Jake Fraley last night. No hits, but did impact the game. Scored a run and drove in a run with a sacrifice fly. That was his 37th RBI of the season. Mariners fell 8-4 to the Red Sox. They are currently tied with Boston right now, 3-3 in the bottom of the fifth. Fraley hitless in this game as well on getaway day in Seattle. Josh Smith last night for the Frisco Rough Riders. Your boy went off.
Number 6 prospect in the Rangers organization.
Yeah, that's because they stink, and Josh Smith is really good.
Let's get him up.
What are you waiting on? It's September.
Let's go.
Do it now.
Go back.
2 for 4, 2 home runs.
Oh, that's just how we do it on Hearthstone Drive. Muse ain't nothing to it, bro.
Those were home
Step
runs.
in the box.
Home runs 2 and 3 on the season in AAA at least. AA, excuse me. 3 RBI, 2 runs scored. The first homer came in the first inning. That was a solo shot with 1 out. His second homer of the game came in the 5th inning, and that one was a 2-run shot.
Let's go. How we do it at Calicut, Muse.
But he's not there. He's in AA, but he doesn't play for
where he
Catholic
learned
High.
it, Muse.
Yeah, okay. Yeah. Okay.
How we all do it.
Parker Bug and the Jacksonville Jumbo Shrimp in AAA.
It's
great. It's phenomenal.
So good.
3 shutout innings last night for the Bugman. Also didn't give up a hit. Walked 2, struck out 2. Speaking of guys, what are we waiting for? ERA of 3.69, and it's been around that just the entirety of his AAA season. And they find, God dang it!
Get low. Through the window.
That was a massive missed opportunity on my part.
That's right, Muse.
Oh, I'm a little bummed by that. All right, moving on. Greg Dykman and the Iowa Cubs.
You know what I was going to say, Muse, but you get all upset when I just speak truth about it. You tell the people about your habits that you're embarrassed.
That is not factual at all. The rumors and lies that you spread and have convinced the entire audience of at this point.
I think they all understand. Muse. What is factual?
Greg Dykman, 3 for 5 last night. Really good night. 3 for 5, 2 singles, a double, and 3 RBI. And he scored a run. Also walked twice. So in only 5 official plate appearances, Greg Dykman was on base 5 times, though. 250 average since being sent back down to AAA after making his Major League debut with the Cubs a little earlier this year. And finally to the NFL, Odell Beckham Jr. has been ruled out already for this weekend. Cleveland Browns head coach Kevin Stefanski announced that today at media availability. Said there was no setback and Beckham will practice on a limited basis, but is still working his way back from the left knee injury and will not face the Houston Texans this weekend. Browns, 12.5-point favorite in that game. That's Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by KYSBestHemp.com. KYSBestHemp.com. Kentucky's best hemp. Use some of the salve this morning on my back. I take 2 of the gummies every night before I go to bed. Kentucky's best hemp. Inflammation, trouble sleeping, anxiety, all natural CBD could be a great option for you. Check it out and save 30% with the promo code AFR30 online at KYSBestHemp.com. besthemp.com. KYS, besthemp.com. Jimmy Henry on Twitter. At Matt Moscona. How have y'all not moved Tigers in the pros to 420?
I want to be mad, but that was really good. That was really good, Jimmy. That was good.
Programming announcement. Starting tomorrow, Tigers in the Pros moves to 4:20 p.m. Central Time every single day right here on AFR. That is a brilliant idea, and I'm really mad at myself for not thinking of it weeks ago. Yep, happening. All right, we're moving the Tigers and the Pros to 420 on the nose. You know where to be at 420 on the nose. If we're going to have a Muso featured segment, it's got to start at 420 on the nose. Got to. If that's what we're going to do around here. So, starting mañana, 420, Tigers and the Pros with Muse.
AFR.
As we wrap up hour number 2, remind you about GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com, changing lives since 1999, 22 years. Home buy, refi, construction loans, they do it all. And right now, home renovation loan options are available. If you need disaster assistance to renovate your home post-Hurricane Ida, GMFS Mortgage has those products. You can trust a local loan officer from GMFS Mortgage, just like I have. When Erica and I bought our first home, we used Doug Bickley. We sold that house, bought our second home. We used Doug Bickley whenever we refinanced this past February, went right back to Doug. He's our lender and will be forever. And you can find yours as well at GMFS Mortgage, gmfsmortgage.com, online, all over the state of Louisiana. So find the GMFS Mortgage loan officer near you that can help you realize those dreams. gmfsmortgage.com, changing lives.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
And our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Hand Injury Lawyers.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Apparently, there's one less name to be considered for the USC head coaching vacancy. Jaguars coach Urban Meyer said today there's no chance he'd leave for that job. He's committed to try and build an organization in Jacksonville. Former Packers tight end Jermichael Finley didn't hold back on Keyshawn J. Will and Max today when discussing Green Bay's debacle in the season opener and his former quarterback. Finley pinned the loss on preparation. When it comes to Aaron Rodgers, he said he lacks a leadership quality as he doesn't take blame for himself, and the future Hall of Famer is missing something else too, according to Finley.
And I just don't see a work ethic in Aaron Rodgers that I have in previous years. And actually, you can see it right through his helmet. The eyes and the face tells everything of the personality. And I just don't see it, that NFL hunger and just still hungry to go win another championship.
ESPN's Jordan Ronan reports Giants running back Saquon Barkley is expected to play tomorrow at Washington as long as there's no setback with his knee. Browns receiver Odell Beckham Jr. is out Sunday against the Texans.
Coming up Thursday, Matt Stafford and Carson Wentz are squaring off this week, and I'm going to tell you which guy I think this week is more important for. Keyshawn J. Will and Max, Thursday morning on ESPN Radio.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Pluckers. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there, make it a good one. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. And, oh, by the way, it's a hump day. Yeah.
It's hump day.
Let's hump, everybody.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
You ever heard of First Point USA? Yeah, me neither.
It's hump day.
But First Point USA.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Just announced that former Duke and LSU athletic director Joe Oliva has joined their advisory board.
It's hump day.
Guaranteeing that none of us should ever want anything to do with First Point USA.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Was it the Duke lacrosse scandal or the Title IX lawsuits at LSU that sold you on him, First Point USA? Literally the worst athletic director I have ever seen in my nearly 2 decades in sports media.
It's hump day.
Wow.
Mike. What day is it, Mike?
Russ Mitchell in 10 minutes. Glad to have you hanging out with us here. Let's cook. If you missed it in hour 1, attorney Don Jackson was with us. You might remember Don Jackson The name might sound familiar. He's the attorney that represented Christian Fulton when Christian Fulton was going through his battle with the NCAA to regain his eligibility. Don Jackson won. He has successfully defended many student athletes in cases against the NCAA to regain, attain eligibility. And so he joined us in hour one, and we went through the John Emery situation. And what it amounts to is that John Emery was 3 credits short of being a full-time student. Apparently last year, he either was at 9 credits, he wasn't at 12, or he took a class and dropped it, whatever it may be. And what Don Jackson said is there were extenuating circumstances due to COVID and family members. He lost a family member. There was another family member in the hospital, and there was a lot going on personally in his life that led to those issues. And they plan on detailing some of that and obtaining a waiver from the NCAA for John Emery to be able to play, hopefully, for the start of SEC play next week against Mississippi State. That I certainly have always been and will be very much pro student athlete, and I hope John Emery gets out. Look, of course, for LSU, I mean, it's going to help if you get John Emery eligible. I mean, you struggle with the running game, and he's a really dynamic athlete, and you'd love to have him eligible. But just even if it weren't a projected starting player, I would pull for that. I mean, I'm always going to be pro student athlete. I mean, overwhelmingly, it would take a really rare circumstance for me not to be pro student athlete when it comes to an athlete against the NCAA in something. So we will keep you posted. If you want to catch that interview, you can online at 1045ESPN.com. AFR On Demand presented by Brett Golfs. Thanks to Don Jackson, who was with us in hour one. You go back and listen or watch it on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel or the After Further Review YouTube channels. It'll be up there later. A couple other tidbits. Ed Ogeron today on the SC Coaches Teleconference said Jay Ward and Ali Gaye will be unavailable this weekend against Central Michigan. Speaking of that matchup with Central Michigan, here's what Ed Ogeron had to say as he started to preview the Chippewas.
Looking forward to getting better. Fixing LSU this week. We still have numerous things that we have to fix in all 3 phases of the game. We had an excellent practice yesterday. A lot of respect for Central Michigan. They're a good football team. Very physical style of football. It's going to be an exciting game.
Last week against McNeese, the feeling I had going in was that there was nothing that was going to happen against McNeese that would make you feel better about what happened against UCLA. When you play when you're playing down in competition, you're only going to feel satisfied that you did what you're supposed to do against a team that bad, or you're going to come away feeling worse because you didn't perform at a level you should against a team at that level. I think defensively, we came away satisfied. Like, okay, that's how it's supposed to look when you're LSU playing McNeese. Nobody's going to say they fixed everything against UCLA, but it looked like it was supposed to look. Offensively, we came away still kind of like, man, they still have a long way to go. But Ed Ogeron talked about what he wants to see from the offense this week against Central Michigan.
Consistency, different tempos of the offense, sometimes fast, sometimes slow, not as much lookovers, be more decisive. I think we need to put our players in better position, give the ball to our playmakers in space and let them make plays. We need to block better up front. We need to have better schemes. We need to run the ball better and protect. There's a lot of things on offense that need to be fixed right now.
You need to block better, you need to run better, you need to call better plays, you need to get playmakers in space, you need to go faster, and you need to go slower. It's a lot offensively that's wrong with this team right now. But these are the types of games, hopefully, where you can start to get those right. Like, I will tell you in a very defined way that what I would like to see is LSU run the ball for over 4 yards a carry. I will give you a set number that I want to see. Running the ball for 3.5 yards a carry against McNeese is not good enough. You're playing Central Michigan. This is a team that really got dominated at the line of scrimmage by Missouri. It still kept that a competitive game. But this is an opportunity for LSU to establish itself at the line, and let's see if they can get that running game going. That's specifically what I want to see. What about from the defensive front?
All camp, I saw an outstanding pass rush. That has continued. I think Andre Carter, who had 80.5 sacks, has brought a great mentality to our defensive line, great techniques with our pass rush. We have to stop the run. We have to be gap sound, be able to be physical up front, play in our gap, and make tackles. That is going to be a big challenge for us this weekend.
Missouri had 9 sacks and 14 tackles for loss against that Central Michigan offensive line. I'll say it this week, similar to what I said last week. If this LSU defensive line can't dominate that Central Michigan front, that's a major problem. This is a week where that should be a matchup that favors you. It didn't against UCLA, and there's going to be some weeks ahead where it's a problem. This is one where there should be no contest with the LSU defensive front against the Central Michigan front. And one more from Ogeron. He was asked about UCLA, and there's something that Keyshawn Butte mentioned yesterday, which was that he felt like they didn't respect their opponent. Ed Ogeron was kind of asked, like, were you looking past UCLA?
I don't know that. Obviously, as a coaching staff, we try to get it across, especially after I saw him beat White like the way he did. But hey, that's the player's opinion. Maybe he's correct. I haven't heard talk about that. But you know what? We didn't play well, and I should have prepared the team well, so I'll put it all on me.
All right, LSU starting their preps, or in the middle of their preps here for Central Michigan. One other note, we did share with you the very tragic news that Kevin Falk's daughter died. She was a student worker at LSU within the football program. And Kevin Falk, while obviously grieving and going through that tragedy with his family, he will not be coaching this week. And Ed Ogeron was very clear that he's going to take as much time as he needs before he rejoins the football program. So, as it should be, our sincere condolences to the entire Falk family, and certainly prayers for comfort and support and everything that Kevin Falk and his family need during this time. It's after further review. We will recap the weekend that was in the SEC and look ahead to the weekend that will be with Russ Mitchell of College Football News, who joins us every Wednesday in Hour 3 of AFR. We're brought to you by Pluckers, and glad to have you hanging out. Stick around. Russ Mitchell is next.
AFR.
River City's 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time or you don't pay a dime. Give them a buzz, 752-0001. If your home central AC isn't keeping up, 752-0001. If it's not blowing cool like it should, 752-0001. Maybe you had damage as a result of Hurricane Ida. Call River City's 1 Hour Air. I've mentioned it before. I'll say it again. So many people learned this lesson the hard way during the flood of 2016. They called a fly-by-night HVAC company that maybe made promises, thought they could do it at a cheaper price. But the problem is, when you do a poor install, your unit isn't going to perform, and it can shut down, it can break, it can have all different types of issues. Making sure you have a proper professional install matters. If you hire 10 different companies, 10 different companies could do 10 different installs. And one is consistently and clearly the best. That's River City's 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com for River City's 1 Hour Air.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
In most cases, you'll never get more for your trade-in than right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Now's your chance to upgrade. You can pre-order your new Toyota today or choose one of our pre-owned vehicles and we'll buy back your current vehicle at a price that will absolutely amaze you. You can walk away with more money in your pocket than you ever thought possible. At Corval Toyota in Opelousas, that's Corval Toyota in Opelousas, Happy Town, USA.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines, fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Yo, Jake here for Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic, the place that's going to be convenient for you during an inconvenient time. Look, you hear me talk about my 4 boys all the time, and sometimes things like stitches, well, they happen. And in fact, they have. And Patient Plus is always taking care of us, just like they'll do the same for you. And now with 7 convenient locations across the Baton Rouge area, open from 9 a.m. until 9 p.m., 7 days a week. And also at PatientPlusUC.com, you can sign up for your appointment on the way to the clinic. That's Patient Plus Urgent Care Clinic. Get in and get better.
Oh, hey, what's up? It's Big D and Bubba, 100.7 The Tiger Morning Show. We'd love for you to join us every weekday, 4 a.m. till 9 a.m.
Yeah, everything you want in a show. Country music. We got laughs. We got celebrity in-studio guests. We just need you.
Join us every weekday morning, 4 a.m. to 9 a.m., right where it all started.
That's right. Louisiana's country station, 100.7 The Tiger.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
I think Russ is going to be a great coach in college football.
Russ Mitchell.
Kicking the tires and lighting the fires. Russ! Literally.
Well, I'm proud of Russ. I think Russ deserves it.
If they give you a nickname, you're good.
Rusty, come on up here. I'm getting tired of saying Tigers. There's too many Tigers in the league already.
I want you to stay here and take care of things, Russ.
You know, I mean, they're going to run this kid around like a rented step-headed mule.
You know, I haven't had much of a chance to talk to you man to man, Russ.
I'm a guy who spends all day breaking down Kentucky football.
Not going in our yard, Russ. It's going in our living room.
And I'm calling you out, man. We'll cut this clip and send it out there to Spurrier and the fellas. It's like Troy.
Take it, Russ.
All right, let's do it. Hour 3 on a Wednesday during football season. We welcome aboard Russ Mitchell, College Football News. How are you?
Kicking tires, lighting fires, baby.
I love the energy, dude. Like shot out of a cannon. Not so much energy in these parts, man.
Was that because you watched the game on Saturday?
Yeah. Not good energy around here, man. People are
blah 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 blah.
What did you
No
think?
longer relevant. No longer relevant. Ask me how many times I get asked a question about LSU now.
How many times do you get asked about LSU now?
Funny you ask me that. Not very often, actually. Not very often. Nobody seems to care anymore outside of the state of Louisiana.
I know.
You're about one more year this away from being, I'm not going to say irrelevant because you play in the SEC West, but like a warm Arkansas. Or like an A&M, man. LSU is on the precipice of being, A&M.
Yeah, Arkansas is not a good comp, I don't think, because I don't think LSU's ever going to get to that level where they lose like 20 straight SEC games. There's just too much talent, too many resources. I can't see that. But A&M, that perennial 8-4, 9-3 thing, if a change isn't made, I think is possible. Speaking of A&M, what did you think about the game with Colorado? What was your big takeaway?
Well, I mean, the one thing I was watching for in this game, it's funny because I went into this game wanting to see turnovers, right? Would they have the same turnover fest that they had in the first game? They only had the fumble. It turned out it was a very, very costly one, right, on the goal line. So on the one hand, I was very pleased to see that. On the other hand, good Lord, I mean, that's a game they very easily, maybe they should have lost, to a Colorado team who's not that good. And if Texas is a top 5 team, or let alone even a top 10 team, they should have had no trouble with the Buffs. So, again, it's still early and you don't want to read too much into it. But, the turnover with Mond, under center is really, really taking shape.
I think Arkansas, with that win and Mississippi State beating NC State the way they did,
Yes.
were big takeaways. Was there a team this weekend that you were maybe either surprised or impressed with their performance?
Well, I was impressed with Mississippi State because, if you remember, like halfway through the second quarter, they still only had 7 yards of offense.
Yeah, they had the kickoff return for a touchdown at the start of the game, which gave them the lead.
Yeah. So, you're thinking to yourself, wow, 7 yards of offense. This is a really good North Carolina State defense, and then they dominated the game. They played really well. They pretty much made Leary inconsequential, despite the fact that he did throw for 300 yards.
Right.
But they didn't break.
Is State a team that might be on the come?
Well, when they got the Mad Pirate as their head coach, we all thought to ourselves, this could be exciting. This is something that if you're State, you're not going to get Urban Meyer,
right,
come to Stark Vegas. So, if you can get the Mad Pirate and he comes in and does something exciting. I mean, look what he did in Pullman, right, with Washington State.
And Lubbock.
Yeah. And let's just say they only allowed 10 points to NC State. And I was very disappointed with the Wolfpack in this game. I mean, they really did not play.
And you were high on NC State.
Yeah, I'm still high on them. I still think they finished the year well. But, they only scored 10 points. So, State only scored, right? I mean, they had the special teams plays there, and and otherwise, they had the 2 receiving touchdowns. First of all, I'm very impressed with State. They handled North Carolina State very, very well. Their defense played very well. So yeah, they're a team on the come. Arkansas too, man. Look, Arkansas dominated the trenches. That, by the way, I was laughing with Moose before the call. That was a fun game to watch, Arkansas manhandling Texas.
Yeah, unfortunately, I was watching LSU slug their way through a game with an FCS school and missed the majority of that. But I don't know, man. I'm not super excited about Arkansas having a pulse.
Dude, 333 yards rushing.
Yeah.
And granted, 73 of those came from the quarterback, but really, they looked like an SEC West team, particularly given the fact that the week before they were down 17-7 to Rice in the third quarter. I did not have high expectations for our Kansas coming into this game, but they dominated. They made Texas look silly. They held Bijan Robinson to only 69 yards rushing, and that kid's a stud.
I know.
A stud, man. They less than 4 yards a carry. And here's my concern with Arkansas. Despite the final score, but I mean, they only converted on 5 third downs. Not, when they needed to be efficient, they weren't as efficient. But I mean, we're picking straws. That was just a behind the woodshed whipping for the Texas Longhorns.
Hey, of all there were a lot of blowouts: Bama, Georgia, Florida, Ole Miss, Auburn. Of all the blowouts, just give me a takeaway, if something that stood out, or just whatever your reaction would be to the blowouts this weekend.
Probably Alabama. I mean, I know you don't want to hear that, but I know it was Mercer, and I know they count for nothing. But they look. They looked Young looked perfect again. So this is 2 games in a row where that kid looks fantastic. And if you're thinking, that a lot of a team's success at that elite level, right, at the championship level, comes down to quarterback play, and that they might lose something, going from Jones into this year. Well, they haven't, because Young looks, through 2 games, he looks like, a plug-and-play Tua.
I'm surprised that's the way you went, because maybe just because I just assume Bama. I mean, Georgia with Stetson Bennett didn't miss a beat. Florida, Anthony Richardson, Florida is a freak show.
Bennett,
but I know he's
not going to play.
I know that, but I guess the point is that Georgia's offense, even without JT Daniels, was still phenomenal when they weren't playing Clemson. I mean, I could bring up Matt Corral. I could bring up Auburn with back-to-back shutouts against bad teams. Like, are they for real? You know, I'm fascinated by Auburn and what they could be if this is just fool's gold because they play two really bad teams.
To me, if I'm thinking about the Georgia game, then I get back to what we've been talking about Georgia since August, brother, which is the fact that they gave up. UAB is going to win their conference probably, and they gave up one touchdown late in the fourth quarter. Mm-hmm. Otherwise, they were won 56. They basically had 49 points and were winning 49-0
right.
heading into the fourth quarter with a backup quarterback. But that defense, which held Clemson to only 2 rushing yards, right? Now, UAB ended up with 127 yards rushing, but, and so that was a little bit better. But a lot of that came in the fourth quarter when the game was over. A lot of it came in the second half when the game was over. This is a Georgia Bulldog front. I said it last week with some reservations, but I'm starting to feel this might be the best front line that I've ever seen in 3 decades of covering college football.
Well, plenty of opportunity to prove it as we move along. He's Russ Mitchell, College Football News, on Twitter at Russ Mitchell CFB. Let me knock out a quick break. We'll come back and we will look ahead to this weekend in the Southeastern Conference. Some pretty tasty matchups. We'll do that next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org. Another home game for the Tigers this week. So if you're getting out to Tiger Stadium, remember, you got to show proof of vaccination or a negative PCR test within 72 hours of kickoff. So if you need either the vaccine or the test, brgeneral.org to register for your vaccine. You can schedule your vaccine right now. And they have express care locations on both ends of campus, just through the south gates on Highland Road and directly across from Tiger Stadium on Nicholson. They have Baton Rouge General Express Care locations. So you can schedule your vaccine at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org, and you can walk in on game days from 8 to 2 to get that vaccine. brgeneral.org for the Baton Rouge General Hospital. Express Care locations all over the greater Baton Rouge area. Find one near you online at brgeneral.org.
All new Bayou Ford vehicles come with a 1 million mile powertrain warranty. And with Bayou to You, free delivery right to your door. Need repair? Our service department is ready and available to help you today. The crew at Bayou Ford is going to do right by you.
I'm feeling good. So good. I just thought you should know.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
Starting in 1974, Central Plumbing has served Baton Rouge and surrounding areas for all of their plumbing needs. Through these tough and trying times, we want you to remember that the Payne family is here to continue to support and serve you. As a multi-generational business, there is no job that is too big or too small. Residential, commercial, industrial, hospitality, we're here for anything you need. 24/7, 365. Give us a call, 225-925-8552.
And our topic today is about savings. What is savings?
Hancock Whitney isn't just a bank for our clients. We're investing in our hometowns, making life better for everyone. So keep dreaming. We've got your back.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
It's no secret. The best oysters in Baton Rouge are at Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar. Enjoy mouth-watering South Louisiana flavor and oysters from all over the country. And don't forget our nightly drink specials. Jolie Pearl Oyster Bar, located in downtown Baton Rouge.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Reminder about HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Tell you all the time, do business with someone you know. So proud to be part of the HUDCO team, meeting daily in constant communications. Scheduling with so many homeowners, with just such a deluge of people incoming. Obviously, so many were affected along our state's coast, and we're really, really excited to be a part of the recovery to help so many people. So, if you had roof damage, HUDCOroofing.com would highly recommend you. If you know you had damage, you file a claim with your insurance company. You get that ball rolling, and we can take care of the rest from there. HUDCOroofing.com. Say no to the door knockers, ignore the out-of-staters, go with a company, even if it's not us. Go with a company that was here before the storm, because you know they'll be here after the storm. HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. All right, it's after further review. Glad you're with us. Russ Mitchell, college football news, with us every single Wednesday during the football season. We recap the weekend that was, preview the weekend to be. Okay, I want to start this segment with the team that I sort of hinted at a bit ago, and that's Auburn. The big one's got to be Auburn going to Penn State. And we're going to learn a lot about Auburn after 2 blowout wins against bad teams. I know Bama, Florida's out there. We're going to get to that, but I don't even think it's going to be nearly as entertaining as this one. So let me start with Auburn, Penn State. Is Auburn for real? Are we going to find out on Saturday?
South Point Volkswagen. Drive yourself.
I was going to get there. I know what I'm doing here.
I know you don't. By the way, how do you spell HUDCO?
HUDCO. And that's, you don't piggyback a live on a live, man. Come on, I got this.
HUDCO.
HUDCO. Yeah, HUDCO.
By the way, we didn't talk in the last segment about Chris Rodriguez, the running back for Kentucky, who scored 4 touchdowns and ran for over 200 yards against Mizzou.
It's pretty good.
Just worth, oh my goodness. Chris Rodriguez Jr., worth at least pointing out Mr. Rodriguez for his 4 touchdown, 200-yard SEC on SEC game. So Auburn, well, we start with Auburn. I know you've said this already, Akron and Alabama State. So, they lead the country right now in like every statistic,
right?
Which okay. So, how much do we really want to take from that? 122-10. Listen, so I'll take a little bit from that, right? Bo Nix actually looks like he's improving, so that's good. 75% of his completions, 400 yards, 5 touchdowns, and no interceptions. The Bo Nix of the last 2 years would have thrown at least 1 interception to these 2 teams. So, yes, he would have. So this is an improvement, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he's not going to be phased about going into Happy Valley. So what? He goes into Death Valley. I'd rather go into Happy Valley than Death Valley.
That is very true. That's appropriate.
Right?
That's appropriate.
Think about it. Where would you rather go?
Where it's happy or where there's death?
They're dressed in white, and they sing it's a Neil Diamond song, right?
I don't know.
So Sweet Caroline.
They do that. They do that in Happy Valley.
They do in between the 3rd and the 4th quarter.
Oh, okay.
So I don't think he or anybody at Auburn is going to be that impressed with the stadium. So, but how do you know what you've got? You don't. I think the defense is going to be a terror. They're going to be a terror all year. They look good. And Penn State's new offense couldn't get anything going against Wisconsin. And they actually struggled at times to get things going, against Ball State, which is a restaurant quality team. I mean, they're one step above, who you guys play.
Restaurant quality team? What's that mean? What's that mean?
They're an average MAC-10 team, MAC team, right?
Okay.
They might actually, they're fairly good. They'll be in the mix for the MAC title, but
Akron?
they couldn't. Ball State.
Oh, Ball State. Okay.
They couldn't get Penn State couldn't get their offense going against a team that's not even named after a state, Ball State. But the thing you need to know about Penn Shame is that their defense isn't a question mark, man. That defense, they stood up Wisconsin, made Wisconsin look silly. Ball State, which has a good offense, couldn't get a touchdown till the fourth quarter. So they've got a lot of running backs. This game will come down to who wins, as football often does, who wins in the trenches. I like Auburn on the road. I know it's hard to pick Auburn because, again, right, they haven't played anybody, Alabama State, and at least Alabama State's named after a state.
That's true. They're also from the SWAC, which is a completely different level of ball.
So Akron, this is going to be a big step up, and I always like it if you've had at least one tough game. I'd feel a lot better about this pick if Auburn had played like Mizzou or Texas A&M or somebody like that. It would make me feel a lot better. But again, I like the way Nix has played so far. I love the Auburn defense, even against the good Penn State defense on the road. I don't think the Penn State offense will be able to keep up. So I like Auburn in a nail biter, kind of like the Oregon Ohio State game.
That was not a nail biter.
Well,
Oregon kicked the crap out of Ohio State up and down the field. Like, that was not a nail biter.
All right, I expect a little bit of a tighter game in Happy Valley.
Is Bama's a 14.5-point favorite over Florida? Is there any way that this is close in the Swamp?
Yeah, I mean, Alabama, believe it or not, is if one area that they've fallen short on, it's protecting the quarterback. So there've been way too many Mercer guys that had no business being back there with Bryce Young, and this is this is a Florida front seven that can put pressure on the quarterback. They can get in there. So if Florida wins this game, if they even cover the spread, they'll have to put pressure on Bryce Young. They'll have to sell the house and get back there. And I think they do. I think they cover the spread, but there's just too much talent on this Alabama team. This is still a rebuilding Florida team, and the running back, they might have a good running game. The Florida running game right now is ranked number 2 in the nation. Granted,
I believe
Florida
it.
Atlantic and USF, but they can run the ball, but Alabama will end up making them one-dimensional, and I don't think they'll be able to get enough pressure on Bryce Young. But that's what you're watching in this game. How much pressure can they get on Bryce Young?
Georgia, South Carolina, it's probably going to be a blowout. I don't know South Carolina. It's a 31.5-point line. We can skip that one, unless if there's anything you're interested in.
I mean, well, only because we're going to be skipping a lot of games because there's few teams playing anybody. But, at least this is a conference game, so we'll take 2 seconds on it. South Carolina, they needed way too much to skirt past East Carolina by 3, brother. But, the defense did a good job against a dangerous offense, right? They only allowed East Carolina to put up 152 yards through the air and 100 on the ground. And, granted, but, the bigger issue is, again, we talked about it in the last segment, how just ruthless this Georgia defense is, right? I mean, they've allowed 10 points through 2 games, and I think that the 7 points they allowed to UAB was charity last week.
Mm-hmm.
So they should have gotten a write-off on that 7 points. So that was good. A write-off?
That wasn't bad. That was all right. It's all right, man.
Help a brother out here. Help a brother out. So I don't think South Carolina's offense goes anywhere, man. I think they get shut out. It's on the road. You're playing between the hedges. I'll be stunned if South Carolina scores 2 points.
Okay. Let me
I
add.
say Georgia wins 38-2.
Okay. Just throwing out the obligatory safety just because he ran to the back of the end zone.
Oh, are we going to the Tigers?
No, not yet. What about Mississippi State?
Don't care.
That's a 3-point. That's a tight line. They're going to play in Memphis. Like they're playing a road game against Memphis. Last year, Mississippi State got the win over LSU. A week later, they crapped the bed against Arkansas. This is a big win. If you're going to establish yourself, you got to be able to go to Memphis and win.
You know what? It comes down to the defense again, because if that defense can play Memphis the way they played the Wolfpack on Saturday, they'll beat Memphis. And if they do that 2 weeks, if you're an LSU fan, if you're in the SEC West, and you've got one eye on this game to see if the state defense plays like it did against North Carolina State. Because if they do that 2 weeks in a row, this could be a dangerous team. Because their offense, they should score at least 20 to 30 points a game, and if their defense is legit, it's not an automatic out anymore.
Hey,
Arkansas is not an automatic out if their lines keep playing like they did against Texas. A&M's not an automatic out at all. State's not an automatic out. Ole Miss is an automatic out. Arkansas is not an automatic out. Man, the SEC West is looking tough, brother.
I know. We all know. That's why the vibe here hasn't been good all week. Everyone knows what's ahead. That's the point. Everyone knows, the energy's not good because it's daunting. I mean, even the doormats look like competitors this year. So
dude, if LSU's secondary doesn't figure out what they're doing, if LSU's defense, if LSU's running game, if LSU's offensive line, if those four things don't figure themselves out by the time we really – I just said we again.
No.
Damn. By the time they've run into conference play, man, it's going to – this year might be – I don't know. Could it be as ugly as last year?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, my goodness. 2 ugly years in a row like that, and Orgeron doesn't make it, man. No way.
Hey, man, if
What's the buyout right now?
His buyout is 17. With the whole staff, it would be around 20. But let's get real. You're talking about so much circulated around this program that they would negotiate something and threaten for cause, and it would be lower. But, I mean, let's just be honest about that. But it's 17. I've had that confirmed to me.
Look, so I'm – I want to see LSU do well, just like I like to see all my children do well. And there's certainly enough talent on this team that, they should be winning. They should be winning these games. The only teams you should be losing to right now are Georgia and Alabama, who are, head and shoulder. I did my poll, my Football Writers Association of America top 16 poll on Sunday. And, you do Alabama and Georgia. And then, I don't know. I watched both of Oklahoma's games. They put up a lot of points against nobody on Saturday. But, and Tulane, by the way, is a legit team. They look pretty good this year. But
yeah.
I don't put Oklahoma right now in that same group with Alabama and Georgia. Clemson's obviously not there. Ohio State's obviously not there. There's a big drop-off after you get past the two best teams in the SEC. And LSU is supposed to win all those other games, and right now I'd say they'll be lucky to be 500 in those games.
I think, the thought as people look at LSU right now is, and look, Russ, here's what I've said all week about LSU. In 2017, they lose 37-7 to Mississippi State and lose to Troy. We were all sitting here saying they're not going to win an SEC game. They went 6-2 in the league. Their only other loss the rest of the way was to Alabama. I mean, they figured it out. They weren't a great team, but they steadied themselves. I know that it's not. Who was
the defensive coordinator?
I get it. I'm not saying that's going to happen. Don't get me wrong. I'm not pumping sunshine. My point is, there's enough talent there, and you're going to you can get better as the season goes along. You're allowed to do that, and there's talent. At some point, they're going to play their best game of the year. They'll find a way to win some games here or there. I mean, they're not going to be a contender. They're not going to do a 180 here, but it's also not going to be an 0-8 season like some people think it is.
You remember what my wife said in the first half of the UCLA game when she said she was talking about the secondary, but she doesn't know what a secondary is, so she called it the guys in the back.
The guys in the back.
And she said, do the guys in the back know where they're supposed to go? That's what my wife said about the LSU secondary. Do the guys in the back know where they're supposed to go? I said, no.
No, they don't.
No, they don't.
No, I'm going to go
She
get
said,
it.
They should know where they're supposed to go, right?
You watch the guys in the back. I'm going to go get another $20 beer before they sell out at the end of the first quarter at the Rose Bowl.
All right, I gotta go. I gotta go watch the LSU. I gotta go watch LSU UCLA again.
I'll see you later.
We better beat the Chippewas. And yes, I said we. We better beat the Chippewas, man. What's the spread there?
It's 19.5.
Yeah. We better cover that, too.
All right.
Talk to you later.
We'll
Bye.
see you next week. That's Russ Mitchell, College Football News. This is After Further Review. Otter Locks is next.
AFR.
Hump Day shows brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet Dine-In or Carry-Out, and now delivery via Uber Eats and DoorDash. So if you want your wings delivered to your home, you can get them via Uber Eats and DoorDash, courtesy of Pluckers. Again, Nicholson and Bluebonnet tonight and every Wednesday. Trivia, 8 o'clock, Nicholson location. That's right. We'll be cooped up in the house tonight. Get your friends together. Get your wife, get your lady, get your man, whatever it is. Go out to Pluckers, get your team together, test your knowledge, win Pluckers gift cards, eat wings, drink beer, watch sports on TV. What more could you possibly want? It's at Pluckers. And you can also order online if you want to go pick up your food. Pluckers.com, order online, curbside to go. It's at Pluckers. Nicholson, just south of campus. Bluebonnet, right in front of the Mall of Louisiana. Great place before or after the game, and of course, always a great place to watch the game. It's at Pluckers, where if you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
I'm Jay Ducote. I grew up learning how to cook at LSU tailgate parties and right in my own backyard. And I created JD's Louisiana products to bring that Louisiana flavor to you at home for your backyard cookout. JD's Louisiana barbecue sauce, Louisiana molasses mustard, spicy and sweet barbecue rub, and more are available at your local supermarkets or by logging on to jducote.com/shop. Put in promo code CST for 25% off at checkout.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Presented by Plucker's Wing Bar. Open till midnight or later every night of the week, where every Monday is all-you-can-eat wings. Plucker's Wing Bar. If you don't like our wings, we'll give you the bird.
Oh, we get to Otter in a second. Reminder about Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. So many people continuing the rebuild and the recovery post-Ida. If windows, doors, or siding are on your list, nobody better than Relief Windows. There's no one else that will do the work and never charge you a dime until they're finished, and you're thrilled. That's Relief Windows. 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding. Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com. As we wrap up, we got one thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otterlocks.
Otterlocks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth the short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and all that incomprehensible, the Ottfather himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you, man?
I'm doing fantastic, Matthew. Went through campus on my P-row and pulled over here to City Flights, and Burbank is flooding right by walk-on, turning around. So it's getting a little rough out there, but, you know, we're making it. We got access.
I mean, you know what it's like here in studio. There are no windows. So when I come down, I don't see the outside world until I leave the building. So it's that bad around town.
Yeah. It was rough, man. It was very, very rough getting over here. Got a few baseball picks for you today.
Oh, let's go! All right, okay. Hit me.
This is a dual entry from Hanny and I.
Okay.
61 years of combined professional sweat and many, many more unprofessional.
Okay. You just gotta have a handy moves. I'm gonna start doing it. I'm just telling you from now. Since he started mentioning him again, I'm doing Colucci from now on.
The St. Louis Cardinals are now in the lead. Both wild cards have been outstanding. You know, the three-way tie in the American League and a four-way log jam, but the Reds and the Padres have struggled so much, and the Phillies. Cardinals now have a half-game lead, and they have a decent pitching matchup. You know, John Lester has been a gas can for most of this year, but his last 5 starts, 4 of the 5 have been quality starts. Tyler McGill, the rookie for the Mets, has kind of tapered off. He's okay, you know, with a 4.05 ERA for the season, but Lester's been pitching a little bit better. They're catching 70, 60, 65, 70, you know, and playing much better baseball. Won the first 2 games in Citi Field, 4 in a row now, and you know about their I'm a Cubs fan. I hate the Cardinals, but, I mean, they're a strong organization. I mean, plus that kind of money coming back, that is your old guy, that is your it's free, it's for me, that is your incomprehensible, you can't understand me, that's all of it together, okay? Double steam. That's your Highland Coffee's double steam dog pick. So there you go.
All right. So we're taking the Cardinals and the run line?
No. Money line.
A money line play on the Cardinals. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
They're going back 60, 65, 70, somewhere.
Yeah, I'm looking at 170. I'm looking at 172 right now.
Yeah. Okay. And then I'll give you a little Indians -10, kind of a nondescript game at the Twins, but Quantrill, second-generation pitcher in Major League Baseball. His numbers are way better than Griffin Jax. Griffin Jax got a 6.7 ERA. Quantrill 3.04, and I mean, we're taking a big pitching advantage on the hill right there. And the interesting game tonight, Giants are red hot. Matt, they're 20 games over their win total already with 2.5 weeks to play. This is probably going to be a record. Padres have stunk it up. It's a pick. It's in Musgrove, not Roto-Rooter Musgrove. But a Musgrove, a no-hitter Musgrove for Padres, he's on the hill tonight.
Shout out, Chuck.
Yeah, hey, Chuck. Hey, Paran. So anyway, the Giants, that's like the way the Giants are scrapping and playing. I mean, they just win. We just keep waiting for them to taper off. They don't do it. So Indians and Giants both had a pick 'em tonight in those two games as well.
Big ballsy play on the Cardinals there, Otter. Looking forward to it, man.
Hey, one thing about this show, baby, we got onions.
Yes, you do. And you know what else you got? Calandro!
Well, we're not thinking onions. I think it's Colucci. Dwayne Colucci. Come on, baby. You know that guy? Have you heard him? Have you heard that?
Yes,
accent?
I've heard him on your show.
Oh, okay. I mean, there's that quintessential Italian, New York Italian. You know what his favorite team is? You know what his favorite team is?
Who?
Freaking Cowboys. This guy is completely messed up. He is confused. He is perfect for our show. Absolutely perfect.
Game time with Jimmy Ott follows us from City Slice Pints and Pizza just through the North
there
Gates.
Was Steinley, then there was Mincy, now we got Colucci. You know?
I love it. We'll see you later. We'll see you later.
See you, man.
All right, it's after further review. Muse, what did you learn today?
You ran 2 marathons.
I did run 2 marathons, and I regret it every day of my life because my back always hurts. Paulie, what did you learn?
I learned Joe Levy got a new job.
Yeah, he did.
What'd you learn, Matt?
Parker Bugs ERA 3.69. Damn sure fine. Baby, come inside and tell me one more time. Get low. I probably should have just queued up the song at that point. Anyway, that's going to do it for us. Shout out to Pluckers. Muse, Paulie, thanks so much. Y'all have a great night. See you tomorrow at 3.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shawbills Tire and Auto Service, ShawbillsTire.com. As we get on down the road, it is my pleasure to tell you about Shawbills because I love telling you about great companies that have served our communities and do so remaining locally owned and operated. That's Shawbills since 1968. 53 years now. 53 years. Mr. Charlie opened up shop in Morgan City in 1968, and they have grown to 18 locations, but they are still locally owned and operated, still family run. And I say it all the time because I mean it. It's true. When you go to Shawbills, they treat you like family. Customer service for so many businesses lost in this day and age. Not at Shawbills. When you walk in, they're friendly. They treat you right. It's a clean environment when you walk in. If you want to wait on your vehicle, they got a Keurig. They got clean restrooms. They got flat screen TVs. They got free Wi-Fi and comfortable furniture. They're going to be friendly, and they'll always give you a great price. It's Shawbills. Find the location nearest you at ShawbillsTire.com. Shawbills, where we keep you rolling.
In most cases, you'll never get more for your trade-in than right now at Corval Toyota in Opelousas. Now's your chance to upgrade. You can pre-order your new Toyota today or choose one of our pre-owned vehicles and we'll buy back